What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Friday, October 15th to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. What an incredible week of sports we've had. That Giants-Dodgers game was unbelievable. And I know we have so many low baggers on both sides, and it was just spectacular baseball. And God, just two excellent teams going at it. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. We destroyed that South Alabama game. God damn, we eat that shit up, roll that shit, light that shit to smoke it. Too easy. NHL is being a bit of a battle so far this year. The Blue Jackets -1 was the easiest bet we'll have all year. The breakdown was great, but Slatsy adding to it yesterday was just very, very, very easy. And hockey can be very easy. Hockey's the one sport where I really find that there's spots that are so easy and they're not tricks. Panthers -1 was a push. There's so many penalties in that game. I was watching it, and there was just power play after power play after power play. I still believe that DeSmith and Jarry, even though they're not – I thought DeSmith was playing well. I still believe that the Penguins will be an under team for us. And so the fact that they've been playing these high-scoring games should bode well for us moving forward, getting nice numbers. Canadians -1 at +113 was a loss. It's funny because I said the pressure on Suzuki and Caulfield's immense, and I don't know how they're going to handle it. And I wish that I had followed that and not bet them. Now everybody's going to want to stay off them. So I think we do need to strike at some point with them. Pittsburgh, Florida under 6.5 was a late addition, which I thought was the right bet, and the power plays completely screwed it. Also, these 2-2 games, we've talked about it, 2-2 games going into the third period, so often go under. So often they're tight and go under. Now, the Dallas Rangers game was 2-2 going in the third period. They didn't score a goal in the third period. This game was 2-2 going in the third period. There was a fluke power play goal scored late in the second by the Pens to tie it up at 2. I still think it was right. It was 1-0 after 1. They were playing towards the low-scoring game. And then, so that was a loser. Predators -1 at +122 was a loser. And I don't know why I had any faith in the shitty hockey team. It's stupid. And then Kings +130 was a walk in the park. It was a glorious walk in the park. So, our average line in NHL right now is +115. It'll always be plus. And that should help us in the long run. 4 and 5. Down 0.5 units, ROA -5.56. Shout out to everybody joining us. I can't wait for this show. We got Nolly Knows joining us. We got DJ Big Boss joining us. It's going to be very, very fun. I've already made moves, and I want to make more moves in college football. I was very close to making a couple, especially in that Marshall, North Texas game. But we'll talk all that out. Shout out to everybody joining us. We got Francis in the house. It's Barcelona -6.5 versus Monaco. Huge step up in class for Monaco from their recent opponents. I like the over in this game. High 80s, Barcelona mid-70s. Game high 80s for Barcelona, mid-70s for Monaco in the EuroLeague. Shout out to Francis. Thank you for sharing that with us. There's Elio in the house. Says, loving this weekend's action. This is a great time of year. We're still buzzing. We're all still buzzing over Canada's win over Panama 4-1 and the Alphonso Davies greatest goal in the history of our country. So we're all still buzzing over Alphonso Davies. And if you haven't seen that goal, please look it up on YouTube. It's the greatest goal in the history of our country. Now, we don't have a rich history of soccer. Obviously, just won a World Cup appearance in 1986 and didn't score a goal. But we're going to be back this next World Cup, baby. Sammy Calmer in the house. Play the Sox Astros over 8.5 at +100. So we know a couple things here. One, that Sharpies on the over 8 at -120 got that last night. Depending on whether you want a plus line or a minus line, I know Cabbers would prefer the plus line if they're confident in a spot like Sammy Calmer is. I think that there's pieces of these bullpens that are strong pieces. So early in the series, I would expect better play from the bullpens than we will later in the series. And I decided to focus on the starting pitching. So I took a run in first inning, yes, -115, and the first 5 over 4.5 at +100. That's my action. We're going to break that game down with Nolly Knows. Now, Nolly Knows is Dodgers won a huge game, an enormous game. So obviously, like any good low bagger, he was heavy on the sauce and he was heavily invested in the game. And so who knows? Who knows where he went to party to celebrate? I know he's a family man. but sometimes the sauce takes over, and who knows where that takes you. And so I don't know. He's not here yet. So we'll just move forward and cap, hoping that he can find himself. It's Schnizzle in the house. Raymond Reichard, J-Dub, David Summers says time to back up the brink. Struck not flush Allen. What a spectacular season you had capping the San Francisco Giants. He put so much cash in our pocket. I don't know if you saw what he did yesterday, but it was just unbelievable bet after unbelievable bet. He also had Darren Ruff to hit the homer at plus 450. And your boys must have made you so proud. So proud. What a baseball team. And tough way to go out. Michael Irvelina says, great game last night, but BS call to end the game. 2-2 count. Would have had Bryant on the move as well. So many things could have happened. Happy Friday, though. This Fat Wally in the house. Damian Canway. Serious business. Nuke Worker coming to us live from Darlington Nuclear. I love it. Raymond Reichard, Christopher Carter, CT Base. TJ, we got the TJ play of the day. Xander over DJ. Tees off at 12:25. You have an hour to get the bet in. Xander over DJ. Tees off at 12:25 from our guy TJ. I love it. And Nupflashan says, hope I was able to help you boys yesterday with my web play and the NFL props. Yeah, look, I shouldn't have been so nervous about the web spot. He looked awesome. And the game flew under comfortably. There's my guy Mark in the house. Great to see you, Mark. Sweaty Butcher ready to get to work. Schnizzle going to ride with TJ in that spot. And David Summers, NCAA season record 37-22 and 6-3 on the play day. Was 6-1 until that rough start from Alabama there. And Slatsy saying how Webb pitched his heart out. And there we go. Ron Crawford spreadsheet play of the day is Houston minus 135. So let's lock that in right now. Houston spreadsheet play of the day. Spreadsheet play of the day. Here we go. Ron Crawford on Houston at minus 135. And I will try to pretend that pigeons aren't banging on my balcony. Jesus. Fucking just start. They start their Friday early. That's what they do. They just oh man, just start running a train out there. Okay, let's lock this in here, and don't let the pigeons bother you. That's locked in. All right, Ron Crawford coming off the win on the Dodgers last night. Spreadsheet play of the day is in business. And a shout out to our Ron Crawford. Ron Crawford in the house. There's the big guy Bubba. Oh, yeah. Love big guy Bubba. We got to party with him in Miami at the Lowback Summit of Champions. There's Rob Garvey in the house. Red Girl ready to get to work. Ray Charles has very interesting coincidences in last night's football game. It was strange. A wild and strange. Now, I was afraid to pull the trigger on Eagles in the under. So they ended up just being leans and they both cashed and strange coincidences. Dutchy went 2-1 here. Everybody backing Fournette was bang on, and he had the Eagles plus 7. He also had that Brady prop, which again the fucking kneeling cost him, which made me sad. There's Sabino Anguano in the house. Okay, it's time to get to work. Sweaty Butcher just said, just locked in my tickets for game 4, LA versus Atlanta. Oh, that's awesome. That is so cool. There's Tyrone Coleman. Danny Lopez says Tampa Bay Rowdies -1 and -145. Also sprinkling on the -2 from our Danny Lopez. Thank you for sharing that with us, Danny. All right. And Summers are Fertain, Iowa full game -11 is the collab pick with Matt Randall. Let me take that. Nuffleshawn says took the day off work to enjoy the best show on YouTube, but more importantly, not to stab a Dodgers fan at work. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Look at that. We got Larry Garr in the house. Birdie, top shelf plays, Razor Sharp picks. Razor says, no, it's my fault. We had Nolly doing shots all game long. Okay, it's okay. We're ready to rock. There is Big Ragoo says, don't ever lay wood on Marshall as double digits. They disappoint in that role a lot. I agree. And Spenny Penny Bombs in the house said, missed my free bet in Bet365 Bet Builder, $10 for $1,100 because Evans couldn't get a TD. Dommy Gunrici, Brown over 68.5 yards, Tampa first half. Tampa tees all cash, but lost on a 6.5. There's Cabs banking the bookies, Texas A&M at -110, -9, -110. They won't let down against Missouri. Missouri, and Alabama minus 16.5, minus 120. They will bounce back and smash Mississippi State. Both are wins, says our guy Cab. Okay, so let's lock what Cabby's on right here. Let's lock that in. Copy and paste that. Put that right above here. Okay. We are in business. We are in business. Let's lock in Mark's spots here. Get that in business. So I have all of everybody's looks. Penny bombs on Flyers minus 1 in regulation, a plus 155. Blackhawks plus 110. Wild, a minus 1.5 plus 165. I found this card very difficult. I found this NHL card very difficult. I can't wait for Saturday night, man. I'm so excited about Saturday night hockey. Raymond Reichard says, "Why does the line think Clemson will bounce back?" I think that the bye week has a lot to do with that. Jay Peasy, Sky minus 3 in the WNBA from our Jay Peasy. Thank you for sharing that with us, Jay Peasy. And Eric Rosas says, Danny's look on Emmanuel Navarrete wins by KO minus 115 tonight. Unboxing is great value. I suggest tailing. And Ertz to Cardinals, Sammy, is that facts? Geez, a lot of news coming in. Okay. We've got lots of work to do. And I guess the shots have taken out. Nice job, Sean. I'm happy you did that. Shots have taken out our guy, Nolly knows, which is all good. I beat this card up, so let's get to work right now. Puzzler says Purdue has an outstanding record. It's a double-digit dog. Sammy Commerce says San Diego State minus 9.5. They're a tricky team to figure out. And Big Guy Bubba says Oregon minus 13.5 should be clean and easy tonight. Losing their star running back for the year is tough, but they do have some very exciting young running backs on that roster, and we will see them. We will see how they look. Okay. Andrew G said, I just got bad news. But as always, I came here for some positive vibes and laughs. Positive vibes and laughs. Andrew G, I'm so sorry that you got some bad news and you came to the right place. Let's cap. Do what we love to do and cap. Biker is on Q's plus 13.5 and Cal plus 13.5. Says 2 healthy dogs. Let's copy that here and get to work. But Andrew, my guy, let's enjoy this. Let's do what we love to do right now and attack this card. We start with MLB. Boston Red Sox, 92-70, 43-38. And yes. Okay. Oh, something else that's very big for today's show. And and we have a spreadsheet NCAA play. Spreadsheet play of the day. Is it a spreadsheet play of the day here, Ron? Do we have another spreadsheet play of the day? UCLA plus 2. Here we go. Mark, the one thing that happens on these Friday night games is that the totals get bet up enormously. And that's what happens. Okay, this is what's up for today's show. Big news here, and I'm feeling kind of helpless here and a little nervous, but Jose has something big in store for us at the end of the show, and it's like 20 minutes long, and I have no idea what it is. And he has earned the right to do this. I trust him, and he's earned the right to not let me know what the hell's going on and do something at the end of the show. So I don't know what it is. It's at the end of the show, and I don't know what to say about it. So that's at the end of the show. So there's going to be no say hey play of the day. Although he did give us 3 spots. He went 1-1 in hockey, so he's going to be allowed to keep talking about the sport. And he still has UTSA first half on the docket. Ski Profit in the house. All right. Let's go. TJ says Jose won't let us down. All right, we'll see. I feel a little helpless and not in control, and it makes me nervous. Okay, let's get to work here. I've made 2 moves in the MLB playoffs in Game 1 of the ALCS between the Red Sox and the Astros, and I've been pretty hesitant. And I imagine that it probably is based a little bit on the fact that Pistol Pete Loshak and other professional baseball bettors that I see rarely move on the playoffs. So I've just, been a little hesitant. And there's all these other incredible sports, in play. So there's so many options. So I've just kind of been, but we're 4-2 in the playoffs, and we're so close to the black on the year. I want it so badly. What are we at exactly right now? Let me just pull this up. Our stats at the moment, we are 357 wins, 323 losses, 52.5%. The VIG is a bitch, and so we're down 3.77 units. 3.77 units. So I'd really like to end up in the black. And Dommy Gun has the Astros as his play of the day. All right, let's go. ALCS Game 1, Boston Red Sox, Astros. The roof confirmed closed. Chris Sale, 5-1, 3.16 ERA, 1.34 WHIP, 42 2/3, 52 Ks, 12 walks. His last start, Game 2 of the ALDS, he got rocked. And that is not a rare occurrence for Chris Sale in the playoffs. 1 inning, 4 hits, 5 earned runs, 1 homer, 1 walk, 2 Ks, and a 14-6 win at Tampa. Ski Profit, look at that. Is that the greatest thing you could possibly read in all of sports gambling? Look at this. I'll pop this on the screen. Says, I haven't done NBA with you in too long. I want to cap some games with you this season. God, that's music to my ears. Ski, my guy. That's absolute music to my ears. Real Deal Prime. Let's stop for a second. Spectacular call on the Sabres last night. Hey, look, you're the man. That was beautiful. Great job. So, Chris Sale, 1 inning, 4 hits, 5 earned runs, 1 homer, 1 walk, 2 Ks, and a 14-6 win at Tampa. So, this is the questions for old Dusty Baker, a man that's impossible not to love. Is which lefties is he going to pull from the lineup? Because Sale this year versus lefties, they hit 154 with a 346 OPS against them. But righties hit 291 with an 824 OPS against them. You have to fill your whole lineup with righties. You look at this lineup, you got Brentley a lefty, Alvarez a lefty, Tucker a lefty. I mean, I say sit them down. Sit them down. And Luce says, I'm all over that Marshall game. I can't wait to talk about all this. And Luce says, North Texas is trash. I can't wait to talk about that game. Okay, so let's go back to, so we heard the splits. The lefty-righties, not good. And the home road splits aren't good. At home, 5-0, 2.48 ERA, 270 opponents batting average. On the road, 0-1, 4.61 ERA, 269 opponents batting average. Career postseason, 1-2, 19.16 ERA. 2.56 whip. When you have numbers like that, you should probably just use earned runs and innings. 38 strikeouts and 10 walks. It's all good. It's all good. Razor, you can let Nolly know that he can take the day off, that we got this shit covered, man. All right. Eric Rosas says, I'm rolling with Jimmy's first phase when he started talking the game. Sales gotten rocked in the playoffs. Sammy comments on that over 8.5 with easy even money. Viper says, I like the Astros, and my second choice is over. Piker says, let's bank on Sale imploding again. I know I can bank on the Sox bat staying ridiculous. Add those 2 points together, and you get an outstanding over 8.5 night final answer. So I've moved in a slightly different direction that correlates with everything that you guys are saying. Run in the first inning at minus 115. First 5 over 4.5 at plus 100. Framber Valdez, 11-6, 3.14 ERA, 1.25 whip, 125 Ks, and 134 2/3, 58 walks. So, look, I'm not going to sit here and trust him either. Last start, game 2 of the ALDS, 4 1/3, 7 hits, 4 earned runs, 1 walk, 6 Ks, and 9-4 win at home. His career in the postseason, 3-1 with a 5.09 ERA, 1.42 whip, 32 Ks in 28 innings, 11 walks. I'm not going to sit back here and say, oh, yeah, I trust Framber Valdez to get the job done. At home, he's been worse than he's been on the road. 5-2, 3.45 ERA, 218 opponents batting average. On the road, 6-4, 2.88 ERA, 221 opponents batting average. Then we get to this. These two teams smash lefties. They smash them. Astros in September and October hitting 258 with an 846 OPS versus lefties. Red Sox versus lefties 275, 769 OPS. Both bullpens are middling bullpens. And middling bullpens, depending on a couple of these Astros guys that I really had faith in, that I started losing faith in the last week or two of the season, middling bullpens can be good at the beginning of a series. And they seem to get touched as the series goes on. Luke Quirker says Sale will be lucky to get 3 or 4 innings max. Mally Mouse says Houston 4-0 first 5 over streak. I love hearing that. And Jose saying we have to see you in San Antonio for a Bev at Southtown 101. Yes, we're in the plans right now of putting a big get together at the Southtown in San Antonio. That should be in the next 3 or 4 months or whatever. And then we're gonna head over. We're gonna have a meetup at the Southtown, but then we're gonna head over to Biloxi. And who knows what the hell's gonna happen in Biloxi? I've never been. But I'm ready fucking so ready. I'm fucking ready.
It's Biloxi to start off with.
All right. Thanks for that. Okay. Let's get back to work here. I'm on the first inning run scored at minus 115 and the first 5 over 4.5 at plus 100. There's Mr. Nimbus in the house. Dommy Gun says, I can't back off the Astros now. I've been on them every game versus the White Sox and the series and parlayed them with the Dodgers series. And Mr. Nimbus backing Framber. Nuclear says, what about a meetup at Woodbine soon? I would like that very much. It is open now. We can just show up. In the summer when it was gorgeous, we couldn't. I would like that very, very much. And the big guy Bubba says, I could introduce you to a few nice ladies in Biloxi. Is that right? Biloxi? Son of a bitch. All right. Biloxi. There you go. Dommy Gun says my bags are packed. Okay. And B-Ball says I used to live in Long Beach, Mississippi, next to Biloxi. He says, hit up, I'm not even trying. Beau Rivage. Is that right? Am I messing that up too? Who knows? Okay. Okay. So there you have it. Let's go into the market moves and the cash in the baseball data and see if everybody should be comfortable with where they plan to attack this game. From a side perspective, we have Houston opening up at minus 145. They're now at minus 140, a 5-cent move at Pinnacle. And from a totals perspective, it opened up at 8 and is now at 8.5. So let's go over to the cash flow in the spot and see if it all correlates. Now, we just have 4,476 tickets in, which is strange. You'd think that this would get just destroyed. 56% of the tickets, 74% of the cash is on Houston, and the markets move 5 cents towards Boston. Then 37% of tickets and 96% of cash is on the under. And that really scares me. So I guess... that makes me nervous. So expecting a bounce back from both Sale and Valdez. That makes me very nervous. Maxwell Smart, Jose Altuve, over a half run, over a half single, over 1.5 bases. That makes perfect sense. Those righties at the top of the Astros lineup, Altuve and Bregman, and then Correa, who bats fourth. I don't know if you keep Brantley in that third spot, by the way. I do not think this will be the expected what they give us the expected lineup. If you look at the splits, you know there's one thing you have to do against Sale and stack your lineup of righties. So I don't expect that to be the situation here. Dommy Gun says, I think we see runs in the game. Dommy, I took the first 5 over 4.5 at plus a hundo, and I took the run in the first inning at minus 115. Nice. Top set is moving, taking off to Vegas. I love that. Sean Thompson giving a 5-2 final score. All right, so there you have it. I guess we could take a quick look at the baseball data just to because the baseball data does tell you, where the hell is it? The baseball data does tell you that these pitchers can get these guys out. 239 with a 689 OPS against Chris Sale. But again, Bregman and Altuve at the top of the lineup. Bregman 4 for 12, Altuve 10 for 31 with a double and 3 homers. They have combined, Bregman and Altuve have 5 home runs in 43 at-bats against Sale. And the rest of the guys get out. And Carlos Correa, a righty that you would expect that would have a nice number against him, does not. 5 for 25. Yuli Gurriel, 3 for 14. And I guess you keep Brantley in the lineup, I guess. I don't know if I certainly wouldn't want him in the 3 spot because you can imagine that right off the top that one of Altuve or Bregman could get on base, and then you don't want Brantley, who's hitting 195 with a 476 OPS against Sale, to come up. And then against Valdez, 219, 557 OPS. And I guess this is a spot where you should trust numbers. And Real Deal Prime says Sale's made for this. And that's something that we've said about Sale throughout his postseason career. So, look, he's got a 19.16 ERA and a 2.56 WHIP. So, Real Deal Prime says Sale loves this spot. I don't trust Sale up here. So, I don't know. Razor Sharp picks this over first 5 full game. Not sure how they both don't win. And Real Deal Prime says don't care. Okay. That's all good, Real Deal Prime. And there is your baseball game. So I would definitely be uncomfortable I'm uncomfortable seeing that huge bets have come in on the under. And now looking at my action, I would prefer if I only bet the run in the first inning and wanted just focused purely on Altuve and Bregman, one of them to get across. So Rodney Barton says Boston gets pounded tonight like a Vegas stripper. Interesting fact. It's not the strippers that get pounded. Rodney Barton. All right, there is baseball. There you have it. 2 spots for me, and I'm not sitting here confident about it. I'm nervous. We don't see anybody on the under. And Robert Cherry's on the Pamper Pop play of the day. Chris Sale over 6.5 Ks. Over 6.5 Ks. Sean Thompson says, I think he can rise to the occasion finally. Big bets made on the under, and I'm nervous. Absolutely nervous. All right. There you have it. Now we move into college football, and we have a beauty in store for us today. Please welcome to the show, coming out of Long Beach, California, by way of Compton, California, my guy and yours, Mr. DJ Big Boss.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. We still in it right here. You know what I'm saying? We right here at McBoss Burgers. How you feeling today, Jimmy?
I'm feeling so good, buddy. I'm feeling so good. I love this college football card. I can't wait to cap with you. I miss sharing the screen with you. McBoss Burgers in effect. I'm feeling good, man. And I'm coming down to LA over the holidays, so we get to hang out. I'm excited, man.
Hey, they don't call him Jimmy the Bag for nothing. They call him the Bag because he coming down with the bag. Yeah.
Oh, man. Oh, I'll have the dirty water in my hand, and we'll be ready to rock and roll.
Absolutely, man. Well, just added to the McBoss Burgers menu, we adding a giant burger, and it's full of shit. Okay?
Oh, no. Giant burger, that's full of shit. Okay. All right. We're off and rolling. We are off and rolling with DJ Big Boss in the house. All right, boss. Let's get right to work. Let's get right to work in college football. We're going to focus on Friday card first. Then we're going to go into your best bets on the Saturday card. 7 p.m. Eastern is where we start. Marshall Thundering Herd 3-3, 1-1 in Conference USA at North Texas. Mean Green 1-4, 0-2 in conference. We're at Apogee Stadium in Denton, Texas. And we'll start with the odds and the cash. Let's go over to football. So the market here, and let's go into the cash. Okay, here we go. Let's get the spreads and totals. And pop up. And here we go. We're going to hit that Clemson game second. So we're going to start here with Marshall, North Texas. Marshall opening up as 10.5-point favorites. That has moved to 11. This total opened up at 64.5. It's up to 66.5, but it's coming down. Got up to a high water mark of 67.5. And I am interested in this under. Let's see if the tickets correlate with the way we plan to bet this. 7,691 tickets in. On the spread, 65% of the tickets on Marshall, but just 52% of the cash. And I know it's been said already in the chat how trash North Texas is. But I'm interested in them. Then we have 55% of tickets, 70% of cash on the under. I want the under too. And the fact that it already hit what looked to be a high watermark made me think I should bet it right away. But I didn't. I thought, let's just sit back and cap this with Boss. After 3 straight losses, I thought Marshall was in a bounce-back spot at home versus ODU, and I was very wrong. Very wrong. Let's go back. 4 weeks ago, they lose 42-38 at home versus East Carolina as 10-point favorites. They lose that game despite putting up 647 yards of offense. They follow that up with a 31-30 loss at App State as 7-point dogs. They were outgained in that one, 566-397. App State had 39 first downs to Marshall's 20. And, we just saw what App State looks like. They're the dichotomy of what they do at home and on the road. Then 2 weeks ago, they lose 34-28 in Middle Tennessee as 11-point favorites. And we've seen Middle Tennessee look like trash. They lost despite outgaining MTSU 493-314 and getting 12 more first downs. Then last week, they barely get past ODU, team that didn't play last year, was one of the worst teams in the country in 2019. Grant Wells has done well. He's been good. He's thrown for 1,992 yards, 332 per game, only behind Bailey Zapp for the conference lead. But, and there's a huge but, 9 interceptions. 9 interceptions, 8 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Rasheen Ali is a beast, first in the FBS with 11 touchdowns. He's great. Now, the reason why there's the big spread is because North Texas is terrible stopping the run. They allow 200 rushing yards per game, but it's not like Marshall's good at stopping the run. Marshall is the second worst rushing defense. They've allowed 212 yards per game. I mean, these are two bad rushing defenses. So you have to ask yourself, who is more dynamic, DeAndre Torrey or Rasheen Ali? North Texas loses 35-12 at SMU as 22.5-point dogs. They followed that with a 46 loss at home to UAB as 12.5-point dogs. 2 ugly games. But they come back and cover twice in a row. Last 2 weeks, they cover in a 24-17 loss at La Tech, followed by last week's 48-35 loss at Missouri as 18.5-point dogs. They had more yards than Missouri, but they turned the ball over 4 times. Austin Aune had by far his best game, going 16 for 26 for 305 yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. The 35 points that the Mean Green scored in last week's loss to Missouri matched the combined total from their 3 previous losses. This is an interesting one. Big Boss, take it away. Conference USA, Marshall, North Texas.
Well, Jimmy, I'd stay away from that total. It's too much volatility up in there. North Texas, although they're 1-4, a bad team, they still can, run the ball well and pass the ball decently as well. So too balanced on offense and defense. The problem over there got to be something else internal. They're playing at home. That means that they can spark a switch in their ass at any second. So I would kind of stay away from the total with that. Conference play, they could just slug it out. Maybe second half it jumps over, backdoor overs, all that kind of stuff right there. But I see a lot more in Marshall right here. Although they've been playing pretty bad since the App State loss, barely pulled it off against Old Dominion, and we called the Old Dominion a bounce back spot. So I'm gonna have to come right back at it and say, at some point this Marshall team, who has a really good offense, is gonna bounce back, and the offense is gonna lay down on the field and win the game, comfortably. So in this one, I'm leaning hard towards taking Marshall minus the 11 points.
Wow, Big Ragu saying, "Bring me all your Marshall action." So, okay. So let's start with you think that, and I understand, you think that this total I should be weary of because both teams can't stop the run, so they're just going to be moving up and down the field with ease.
Right. When you go in conference play, the teams traditionally do what they do. And traditionally, these two teams slug it out on the field, and they're going to slug it out. And, I believe it's going to go it's probably going to reach up to that total, but that number up there, I'm not sure of. I wouldn't want to play with that number. So I like I said, the most value I see maybe Marshall first half or Marshall full game.
So look, obviously I have a bias in my head, and that's why I didn't make the bet before the show, because I thought Marshall was going to bounce back against ODU. Why did they not do that? Wasn't everything set up for them to bounce back at home?
Hey, ODU, they got a first-year coach over there, and when conference play come, first-year coaches can catch the other coach off guard. They change things around. They don't have real tape on them, stuff like that. So, and Old Dominion didn't play last year, so they don't even have tape from last year. So that's the big surprise in Old Dominion. So I didn't, I was on Marshall as well, but as the game played out, it was a bad spot to be in. Like we don't know much about Old Dominion. I was trying to fade Old Dominion from the beginning of the season because they didn't play in 2020. So a lot of the 2020 teams that didn't play, I just go and fade all of them. So I've been trying to fade them, but Old Dominion has a pretty tough D. They can move the ball around as little as well. I don't think Marshall did pull the game off and walk away with the win. They didn't cover though, but can't be so biased to what happened last week and what's happening so far in the season. You got to play teams that you've seen play on the field and you know what they're capable of. And like I said, this one I watched the App State Marshall game. I got a view of the Marshall and Old Dominion. I got sneaked in a couple of views of that one. So I kind of know what this Marshall team can do. They're a little overrated on the offensive side of the ball. But they do move the ball. Traditionally, that's what they do. They score. And the defense is, sometimes here, sometimes there. That's why I say I stay away from that total.
Dutchie says We Are Marshall couldn't sleep. And this movie was on. Oh, sorry. He said Thundering Herd or Nothing. Sorry, I was talking about the movie at 3 a.m. And Top Shelf plays. Yes, we love Big Ragu. I put him on the show as much as possible when he's available, and he has his the big show tomorrow, so you can see all of his breakdowns. Come on, you guys! You think I jinxed Brady? That's what it is when you say that you have a concern about a certain angle, and that's a jinx. Come on, man, I don't believe in any of that shit, and I want Dutchie to succeed, and I want you all to succeed badly. And it's important that we talk about all the different angles. Jinx. Okay. Well, you've made me not want to move on either side here in North Texas or under, because I don't want Marshall under any circumstances. Are you going to move on this game?
No, that's just a lean. I'm not, like, it's too much volatility in there. Like I said, the best value you have in this one is to jump on Marshall. I mean, the line's not, the bookie's not going to set it up at 11 if it's way closer than that. They got an idea that Marshall can bounce back in the spot too. So if I had to lay it with your money, Jimmy, I'll go ahead and take Marshall minus the 11.
All right. Well, that's why we do this show. That's exactly why we do this show. Puzzler says North Texas only lost by 13 at Missouri last week. You know, and that's I mean, I took a long look at that game. And what exactly it was. I mean, Mean Green, they hadn't scored anything up until that game, and Austin Aune has his best game by far, and they turned the ball over 4 times. Both teams are turning the ball over a ton, but Cap says Missouri is awful. So, look, you know, we stayed off that Navy-Memphis game, and I believe it was Sean Thompson who was still, like, heavy on Memphis, and it was a great call by him. But we dominated that South Alabama game. It's important for us to pick our spot. So let's move on. No spot, no move there. Let's go to 7 p.m. Eastern. Clemson Tigers 3-2, 2-1 in the ACC at Syracuse. Orange 3-3, 0-2 in the ACC. We're at the Carrier Dome in Syracuse, New York, and the border opens on November 8th. And I'm going to be going to the Carrier Dome. I'm going to be watching Syracuse sports as soon as that fucking border opens. My man Dan Kelly down there, Saratoga all next summer. Come on. I've already booked Saratoga for next summer. Obviously, we can't stay in Saratoga because it's too expensive. But Lake George. Lake Jorge, bitch. All right. Clemson, Syracuse. Clemson opens up at minus 14. Now it's 13.5 across the board. This total low, opening up at 45.5, has now dropped to 44. Let's go over to the cash. And we have 14,324 tickets in. It's 59% of the tickets, 60% of the cash on Syracuse, and 38% of the tickets and 80% of the cash on the under. And that makes sense. Mark Nick says, historically, the Orange play Clemson tight. Do you think, first off, let me just talk about this game very quickly. And then, but it seems like they're putting a ton of value into Dabo off of the bye. After losing at NC State in overtime 27-21 as 10.5-point dogs in a game where they only gained 214 yards, they followed that up by barely getting past Boston College 19-13 as 14.5-point favorites. Now they come in off their bye week. They're averaging fewer than 15 points a game against the 4 Power 5 opponents this season. Uigalele not look good. Syracuse has played 3 straight games, decided on the final play. I mean, that builds toughness for a team. Syracuse's big win at home over Liberty, 24-21 3 weeks ago. Then they've lost 2 very close games, 33-30 at FSU as 5.5-point dogs. Then at home last week, 40-37 in overtime to then 19th ranked Wake Forest as 6-point dogs. In the Orange's 2 conference losses, Garrett Schrader and Sean Tucker have rushed for 570 yards. I mean, Tucker has 791 yards on 133 carries, and yet we're sitting here with Clemson as 13.5-point road favorites. Ski Prophet says, can Clemson score enough to cover? Top Shelf Play says Syracuse 14.5 is a lock. So Clemson, Syracuse, Big Boss, take it away.
Yeah, this is a sticky one. I think the books is kind of trappy. They trying to get us caught up right here. I mean, if everything that we see on paper about these 2 teams is correct, you know, Clemson offense is ranked 100 and something. When has that ever happened? But the Syracuse team, they came swinging at Clemson every year, even in their prime years. And Syracuse, in their bad times, they come swinging for Clemson. Now you catch Clemson in a bad season at home, and they trying to add value to Clemson because people keep betting Clemson because they so used to Clemson being this team. So people keep betting Clemson. They take a week off. They throw this line in there, makes it seem like Clemson has recovered, and we haven't seen them recover nothing on the field. And this Syracuse team comes after them big time. Like, it's only one way really for me to get involved in this game right here. I would love to jump on the under on this one because Clemson with the struggling offense, Syracuse has a really good defense. Both of them are trending to the under big time. Clemson is 1-4 to the under. Syracuse is 3-3 to the under, but they played some good under ball. So Syracuse has been cashing a little bit to the under. Clemson definitely to the under, but the total is way too low. I mean, when you start talking the low 40s in college football, you got to tread lightly. You got to add some weather or something to that to really kind of make me jump into that. But I would have loved to take the under if it was maybe a little bit higher, but yet and still I wouldn't want to take the over because these two teams, they've been trending under. So the best spot I could say in this game is to take Syracuse and the points and even sprinkle some on the money line because Syracuse, I don't like to bet teams plus points unless I got a real clue that they could actually win the game outright. And Syracuse absolutely can win this game outright. They could have won this game outright when Clemson was at the top of their game. So this is a good spot for them at home. It's a reason why it's on Friday night. This is really trappy. I'm going to be off on this game, but that Syracuse plus the points and Syracuse on the money line is tempting.
It's just one of those things, though, where we see over and over again from everybody here, Syracuse, and it just makes me nervous, I guess.
They want you to overthink it, Jimmy. That's why the line is set so high. They want you to overthink it. They're gonna actually drag in money on Clemson, on all these people that cashed off of Clemson for years, thinking that Clemson's gonna go in this game because they had a few days off. Basically, it cured all the problems that they have on that offense. No way, unless you're coming out announcing that you changing the quarterback or that you changing the scheme. They're stuck right there. Probably the best thing they could do is try to break it all the way down and develop the run to open up to the pass because this quarterback over there, DJ, he ain't been doing much.
A lot of people loving the breakdown, Big Boss. So makes sense here. Curb stomp play today, also Syracuse plus 13.5. We have our man Ron Crawford also on it. Michael Irvelina on it. Sal saying Syracuse winning the game, easy money. And Dennis Garcia saying Syracuse 16, Clemson 13. Final score. I understand it feels like Syracuse has to be the spot here. I get it, but they've just covered, 3 straight games. And okay. I'm going to – so Ron Crawford says use your intuition and it doesn't feel right. You pass it. It's not that it doesn't feel right. Okay, yeah. It feels like they're gifting this a bit to us, and I'm nervous about it. So I will Mark, my man Mark Joseph says, once you understand the millions Vegas puts into psyching us out in these books, you'll be better. Thanks, DJ. Okay. Let's move on. I get it. I'm interested in Syracuse, but I just got to sit with it for a little longer. We head to the West Coast. 2 big games in the West Coast. We start at 10:30 p.m. California Golden Bears 1-4, 0-2 in the Pac-12 at number 9. Oregon Ducks 4-1, 1-1 in the Pac. We're in Eugene, Oregon. Let's start with the market in this game. We have Oregon opening up as 15-point favorites. That has moved to 13.5. A 1.5 drop from 55.5 down to 54 in the total. And then let's go over to the cash in this spot. We have 13,984 tickets in. 32% of the tickets are on Cal and 64% of the cash. So big bets clearly coming in on the Golden Bears. From a total side of things, 37% of tickets on the under, 65% of cash on the under. So top shelf plays looking at Oregon first half. And And CT Bay says, I'm expecting the gift to start the weekend about the Syracuse game. I'm accepting the gift to start the weekend. Okay, Michael Rivellini said, smash the Ducks first half and full game. This is a big statement game and bounce back spot for Oregon. Big. The market saying that the bigger bets are coming in on Cal and the under. Cal comes in fresh off their bye week. 3 weeks ago, they had an impressive 31-24 overtime loss at Washington as 7.5-point dogs in a game where they outgained the Huskies 457-326. Then they lose at home to Washington State 21-6. 7.5-point favorites. So Chase Garbers didn't throw a touchdown pass for the first game all year. He was limited to 152 yards passing, and 44 of them came on one play. So Garbers was bad. He's thrown at least one pick in every game but one. 5 picks, 7 touchdowns. And Oregon has 2 huge injuries. First off, because we're talking about Garbers, Bennett Williams, season-ending injury on September 25th against Arizona. He's a very good player in their secondary. And the awful news, CJ Verdell ruled out for the rest of the season, their star running back. So Oregon also comes in fresh off their bye week. So that will help set up after these injuries. After a shocking 31-24 overtime loss at Stanford, it's 8.5-point favorites. Without Verdell, you're going to see Seven McGee, who we're all interested in seeing, Travis Dye, and Anthony Brown's got to step up. He did not look good against the Cardinal. So I can't wait to hear this. Luchase Fox says Ducks roll. Top Shelf Play says Oregon is mad. And the big guy Bubba says if Oregon moves back to 14.5, you'll know who it was. So Bubba does make big bets. All right. CT Bases, I'm on California. Got 14.5 on Tuesday. Sean Thompson says Cal can't complete full game. Harold Williams says Ducks easy. And Christopher Carter says Dye's more than capable of carrying the running back load. Okay, can't wait to hear DJ Big Boss. California, Oregon, take it away.
Hey, I'm gonna just say if you're on Cal, then you got to be on the under. That's just off top. But Oregon, by the way, was off a bye as well, and I think Oregon played really well. I mean, they lost to a Stanford team who, basically beat them in discipline and coaching. Stanford didn't do nothing fancy to go through them. They just played them, better discipline, better coaching. The week off probably for Oregon, like they said in the chat, made them mad, and they trying to get back on the right track. But this Cal team is one of what I call an upside down team. Kind of like when you buy a car off the lot, the offense is not putting up as much points as the defense is letting go. So the offense is averaging, I think, like 22 points, and then the defense is letting go like 27 points. They don't have a winning formula over there at all. It's a great spot for Oregon to come in and let off some steam and start, this is a rejuvenation, so they can get going for the rest of the season. So I think it's a perfect spot for Oregon to cover right here. Cal and Gabbers, we've been trying to talk them up because they're a team that plays great defense, man. Like, you like seeing that defense on the field, but the offense has just been so poor year in, year out. Like, they try to make a case for them every year, and they end up upside down. So they're upside down. They're both off a bye. Oregon's hungry. Oregon, on a conspiracy level, you got to kind of let Oregon through so they can have some kind of imprint of the Pac-12 in the top, 25. So it's important that Oregon stays at number 9 for the Pac-12, So I would take Oregon minus the points all day. I would lean to the under on this one because Cal plays great defense. And Oregon is Cristobal. He likes his defense as well. He likes to be based off his defense. But he's been getting it done on both sides of the field in the games that he's won. So he can be streaky to take the total over a little bit. But how is Cal going to score? Oregon's going to have some good defense, some quality players out there. I don't see how Cal's really going to score. Maybe a Cal team total under might be a spot as well. But I might bet this game late. I got a little time to bet it, but if I do, I'll probably put in some crazy exotics and add Oregon right there.
Huh? Were you surprised that the total opened up at 55.5 in a game where Cal's involved?
Yeah, but that might bleed to Oregon blowing them out. Oregon's always been a team that'll run the score up. I mean, Oregon. Well, I don't know. I don't think they can score 55 against Cal's defense, but Oregon can run it up on them. But like I said, I don't see how Cal's really going to score.
So maybe California maybe the Cal team total under is the best way of looking at this. I'd just like to see what it is very quickly, what I'm being offered right now, and then we will move on. Dennis Garcia says Cal Oregon under is the only play you need tonight.
Yeah, the under's nice. The under's a nice spot as well. Like I said, if you kind of lean anything that Cal's going to show up, like if you think that week off or whatever matters, they're going to show up with their defense. They're going on the road. You got to pack defense. So the under's a good spot as well. But I think it's a blowout by Oregon.
Look at this market here too. Oregon's team total at 34.5 is minus 135 to the over. Wow. That's the market saying that this is going to be a blowout. California, the under 20.5 is at the 20.5 team total is at minus 120. Nuflashan says this game smells like Oregon team total over with that total. I agree that that's what the market is saying here, but NCT Bay says Oregon defensive end Thibodeau out for the first half because of targeting last week. That's a big part of this as well. And wow, Jose saying Lance McCullers off the Astros roster with forearm. Ooh. I think that for me at this point, I think that I like the under, but the fact that it was put at such a high number immediately gave me a red flag. Immediately. And then we go back to the big bets and look, they're being bet on the under because they're still public on this over. 63% tickets on the over, 35% cash. Maybe it's a double up spot. Maybe it's Cal team total under 20.5 and the full game under. So then if Oregon does, show out, you're still going to be taken care of. And you have to think that the running game will take a step backwards. So I like that. Okay, I'm in business. I know how I'm going to handle this. David Summers, you said for the remain. Oh, sorry, you're talking to Jose. Okay. All right, let's go. Let's roll. Sean Thomas says Cal will snail this to a halt. Ducks will score, but how much? I like this. All right, great breakdown from our guy, DJ Big Boss. Now we get to go to the Mountain West where Big Boss does it best. Number 24 ranked San Diego State Aztecs 5-0, 1-0 in the Mountain West. At San Jose State Spartans 3-3, 1-1 in conference. And we're in San Jose, California. I know you know these teams so well. And, man, do they just Jekyll and Hyde nonstop for us. And you were there, right? You watched the Aztecs in game 1 of the season.
New Mexico State and San Diego State. But San Diego State became a new team since then.
That's what it looks like. And I want to dive into this deeper. First off, starts at 8. San Diego State moves to 9.5. And then now they're at 10 at Pinnacle. So money coming in quickly, and the rest of the market will follow suit. Then from a total standpoint, opens at 42.5, and it's now down to 41. And Ron Crawford is on the under 41. There's big show picks in the house. Arthur Meade Jr. rolling with us. Okay, so let's pop up the cash flow in this spot. We have 10,718 tickets, and 90% of the tickets, 88% of the cash on San Diego State. Then 35% of the tickets, 62% of the cash on the under. So no fear here with the under, but Harrell Williams on the other side. Okay, San Diego State off to its second 5-0 start since 1975. And they're looking to revenge what happened last year, 28-17 loss to San Jose State. They come off 2 very easy wins against inferior competition. They beat Towson at home 48-21 as 23-point favorites. They were only up 21-14 at the break. Then they come off their bye last week to beat up on New Mexico 31-7 as 19.5-point favorites. So Greg Bell, he's back. He's healthy. The Aztecs average 244 yards rushing per game. That's 10th in the nation, and we know Bell leads that attack. San Diego State and Army are the only teams that rank in the top 10 in both rushing offense and rushing defense. San Jose State's been a major disappointment this season. Last year's glory seems like a distant memory. Starkel, last year's all Mountain West Conference quarterback, has missed the last 2 games with injuries, and Brennan won't say whether Starkel or Nick Nash will start. I don't know if you have some inside info in that, but I'd love to hear it. They're coming off an ugly 32-14 loss at Colorado State as 3.5-point dogs. They lost in every facet of the game. Dennis Garcia said, I said earlier in the week this game's going to end 13-10. Part of me really believes this. Cab says, under 41 in college. Ron, I want balls like that. Take it away. I've never heard anyone say that he wants another man's balls, but I get it. I get what he's trying to. I get what he's inferring. Okay, take it away, Big Boss.
This is a real sticky game right here. So word is San Jose State is kind of lost touch with, playing. The travel kind of shook them off Hawaii, then over to I think it was Western Kentucky or something like that, or Western Michigan, I believe it was, and they caught a couple L's. But I mean, I've been studying this team since the beginning of the season. This was a team where 8 players from the defense stayed. Super seniors. Nick Starkel himself, I think he's in his like 6th or 7th year playing there. Like, it seemed like everybody stayed to be under Brennan, after winning the Mountain West last year, and it was going to be a positive thing. But come to find out, things are not working as planned. The offense struggling really bad. The defense can be beat. Like, I thought the defense would be beastie, but it's a crazy thing over there at San Jose State. Now, that is a party school, and this is the tricky one about today. It's a party school. It's a Friday night, and guess what, Jimmy? It's homecoming for San Jose State. And with all those seniors on the field at a homecoming, we don't know how they will come out and react to that. They're playing a team that they beat last year. Of course, San Diego State's coming down, upset at what happened, last year. And they got off to a great start, like you said. But, some of these points they scored in some of these games are against some weak teams. So I'm not all the way 100% secure with San Diego State's offense. But, the defense is doing what it do. So I think the under could be the play, but it's going so low. But with the homecoming and all that kind of stuff, if they spark San Jose State in the ass, they might jump up real quick. You know what I'm saying? So this game seems very contrarian to me. Like, either you're going to be contrarian and go over with that low total, or be contrarian and take San Jose State plus the points. If you was going to take San Diego State, you should have took it way earlier in the week when it was as low as it could possibly get. This thing is going to get to like 10 and a half. A lot of people like this team because they love defense. And, the 3-3-5 they run over there at San Diego State is one of a kind. So, and San Jose State been having trouble running the ball, passing the ball, everything. And then the coach, he ain't going to let nobody know what's going on with the quarterback situation. And even if he did, if Starkel was playing, cap the game if Starkel was playing, you still might end up saying San Diego State is going to win. So, it's a difficult spot right here. I'm feeling very contrarian in this spot right here. But I do like San Diego State to win, but I don't know if they necessarily cover. So if I was going to attack the side, I'm probably going to take San Diego State first half. But for the full game, I would lean San Jose State plus the points. And as far as the total, I just can't go that low. Like, I can't understand where San Diego State scored all these points against these other teams. If they scored all these points against the other team, then they must have some go-to plays or something that's going to get them on the board. San Jose State, I have confidence that the coaching over there could lead them in the end zone. But I don't know, being that he knows his team is down, he may play chess and just try to make the best situations for his team to win and run the clock. So the under could be in play, but I don't trust it that low. I probably go contrarian in this one and go over.
If you had interest in San Jose State, it'd probably be a twofold thing here. One, that you'll wait, and two, you sure want Starkel in there, don't you?
I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, they haven't been throwing the ball well with Starkel anyhow. It ain't like this passing team that's just blowing people out with Starkel in. The situation with the other guy coming in there, Nash, he was at receiver and all that, maybe, playing the last game, maybe have a better start this time. So it's homecoming. That's one of those little factors they kind of leave out, and some teams it makes a big difference, and some teams it doesn't make a difference at all. But at a party school like San Jose State, man, be careful. First half, they might come out with the vengeance. Just happy at TGIF.
It's a tricky game, and I. What do you think about this? Aztecs have played poor competition for 2 weeks in a row. I think that hurts a team when they have to play. Now they have to step up a bit. Now maybe San Jose's been bad this year and they're not really a step up, but they've been beating what they played Towson and New Mexico. can you still come in sharp? And now you have a full stadium in the homecoming game where the crowd's going crazy. Do you think that there's a chance that they come in a little sloppy?
Yeah, I mean, that's why I say if you want to lean on the San Diego State style, you got to take them that they come in blazing and go right away. If not, San Jose State can get them in the first half just off of momentum and energy. Being at home. They struggled on the road. They at home now. They in conference play. All those little odd details and stuff is out the book right now. And that coach over there is a really good coach, man. He ain't gonna be there for long. You're gonna be seeing him some other places sooner or later. But Brady Hoke over there at San Diego State, he does a good job too. But I don't care for Brookshire, the quarterback over there at San Diego State. I don't trust their offense as far as I could throw them, to tell you the truth. And I don't know. Full game, San Jose State take them points. Probably come down to a field goal or something.
Just might. I'm going to wait. Wait here. Okay, there is all of Friday's action. We're going to go into Saturday best bets here with DJ Big Boss before we go into NHL. And then we have something happening for 20 minutes at the end of the show that Jose has put together that I've not been privy to. So I have no idea what that will be. Okay, so let's go. So the Marshall, North Texas spot, I was leaning towards North Texas in the under, but was nervous about the spot, wanted to talk it out, and basically was talked off of that spot. Big Boss, you're staying off that as of now?
Yeah, I'm off of that spot. I capped it a little bit for the show, but that's not something I want to. Some of these games are trappy.
The Syracuse Clemson game, in the end, and maybe this is just a terrible mistake, but Syracuse has covered 3 straight games. We've seen how bad Clemson has looked, and now Syracuse is 13.5-point dogs, and they're begging. They're just saying, "Here, take Syracuse. You'll love it. Take it. You'll love it. Take it. You'll love it," and not telling you what it's cut up with. So I can't do it. I just can't do it. Then we get to California, Oregon, and that's where I want to roll. California team total under 20.5, and maybe it's a spot where I double up on the full game under. So in case Oregon does step up in the big way off of their bye, and after hearing all the, they're not a very good football team, they had no right being ranked the way they were, and all that stuff, and dealing with the injuries, maybe they step up in a big way. And if they do, because we see that their point total, their team total is heavily juiced to the over at 34.5. So maybe it's a double up spot for me. And I think it just might be. And then this Aztec San Jose State game is very confusing, because one thing I want to do is when a team plays weak opponents like Towson and New Mexico, I want to fade them that next week if they're playing a good team. Now, we can't obviously say San Jose State's a good team, but last year they were a great team. So, and then we know that San Diego State has revenge in mind, and they're 5-0 for the second time since 75. All that's coming together. But I tell you what, it makes me want to be on that. Well, let's go over to the cash again. What was the cash in this spot? 90% of the tickets, 88% of the cash on San Diego State. I mean, so there is no more public of a team tonight than San Diego State. And that makes me want to go against it. And there's no more public of a bet than, I guess that doesn't count, because there's 62% of tickets on the over in Clemson Syracuse, but just 20% of cash. And I understand that the bets would come in on the under. All right, well, I guess, and this is what this show is supposed to be about. It's supposed to be about having an idea of your plan, and does it correlate with cappers you respect? If it correlates with what they're saying, then you fire away. And if it doesn't, you stay off. The reason why I was hoping to have a lot of action in this game is because I find this NHL card difficult tonight. And that's why I wanted to have this action. Okay, there you go. There is our Friday night breakdown. So, boss, if I gave you $500 and you could only make one bet on the Friday card, one bet alone on these 4 games, what would your one bet be?
I'm going to go Oregon minus the points.
Oregon minus the points. Oregon minus the points. There's Maxwell Smart in the house. Great to see you, Max. Your time just around the corner. College basketball on the way. Nutflush says we need to track the 90% or higher and see how those are, how their cash is. I could do that. I mean, that will take a lot of time. I could do that for a few weeks at least.
Hey, we can't talk. We can't talk to Nutflesh today, man. He got to sit in the bully box since his Giants went down last night.
Okay. We move on. We move on to Saturday best bets. And of course, when we're talking Saturday best bets, we know what Big Boss wants to go. He wants to go to the Mountain West where he does it best. 3:30 p.m. Eastern. Fresno State Bulldogs at Wyoming Cowboys. Fresno State 4-2, 1-1 in conference. Wyoming 4-1, 0-1 in conference. These teams have a lot of similarities. War Memorial Stadium in Laramie, Wyoming. So let's start with the market in this game. This one pops off at 3:30. God, I'm having trouble with this stupid site. Here we go. Let's try this again. And let's move on to here we go. So 3:30, this game pops off here. And, Jesus. Sorry, it's messing up. Let's go to the site that is working here, and that's Sports Insights. The cash flow in this huge game. God, what the hell? Why is all these things screwing up? All right, I'm going to pull these up in a second. Let's just start with the breakdown. Fresno State comes in off two poor performances sandwiched around their bye week. Same with Wyoming. The exact same situation. Both teams have two poor performances sandwiched around their bye week. 3 weeks ago, Fresno State barely got past UNLV on the road, 38-30 as 30-point favorites. Then last week, they lose 27-24 in overtime at Hawaii as 11.5-point favorites. I should be just blind betting unders in Hawaii because because of the COVID situation, they have no fans in the stands. They outgained Hawaii 505-348, had 10 more first downs. Hainer has thrown for 2,230 yards, 18 touchdowns, 6 picks. Fresno State 0-4 against the spread in their last 4 conference games. Wyoming, 3 weeks ago, they just barely squeaked past Connecticut, 24-22 as 31-point favorites. Then last week, they lose 24-14 at Air Force as 5.5-point dogs. Chambers has thrown for 893 yards, 6 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. And here we go. I've got this up now, thankfully, at 3:30. The market move to set the table. Fresno State opening up as 3.5-point favorites. There's been no movement. There's been a 6-cent move to Wyoming. That's it, as a home dog. And then this total opened up at 56, now at 53.5. Here we go. Big Boss, Fresno State, Wyoming. Take it away.
Well, I was glued into that last Wyoming game, and I think they played some games right there. These non-conference games be giving some false looks to some of these teams. Same thing like San Diego State. Wyoming put up some points against some teams that they didn't really play. Now they kind of like back down to earth, playing some conference play against a Fresno State team that's really talented on offense. The coach over there was Kalen DeBoer. Man, that guy's a genius over there on the offense, and the quarterback Jake Hainer, he might be NFL material. So Wyoming struggled against Air Force with the pass. How did they struggle with the pass? They was able to stop them at times with the run, and 3rd and 9, they letting them get 22 yards across the middle. Like something, this Wyoming team is a little hyped off of the past. I wouldn't say they're just a terrible team, but I don't think their value is where people put it. So going over there, I think it's a low number for Fresno State, an offensive machine that's going to put that Wyoming defense to test, especially in the air. Now, the funny thing about Fresno State is that they're peaking on defense now too. Their defense is ranked number 29. So, with the new coach right there, things are coming together. The defense is getting a little better. The offense is a well-oiled machine at this point. They're playing a Wyoming team who was predicted to be number 2 on their side in the Mountain West, and I don't think they're going to get there with it. Sean Chambers, a great story at quarterback, but he's always injured. Something always happens to him. Wyoming's offensive line is not as big and beastie as they've been in the past. The defense does work pretty well, but they leave holes in the secondary now. So I think Fresno State's going to go over there and exploit that. But the only setback I have with taking this Fresno State team is the back-to-back travel. So I'm not going to hold that Hawaii loss against them because, a lot of people can't play on the island like that. It's a whole, especially right here in California, you talk about time going backwards, instead of forward. So the different feel, you know what I mean? So this time they go over here to Wyoming, but we're not in those months where it's like a cold weather month where Wyoming has the edge because of the elements. It's going to be open game for throwing the ball and running the ball with Fresno State. So this is one of my favorite picks of the week. So I'm going with Fresno State off the back-to-back travel spots to come home with a victory against Wyoming that account for them.
Fresno State minus 3.5. The market is messing with the spot, clearly. 69% of the tickets are on Fresno State, but just 28% of the cash. Now, there's just 2,030 tickets in, but that's clearly big bets coming in on Wyoming. And then you have 37% of tickets on the over, but 91% of cash. So that total has dropped from 56 down to 53.5, and people are hammering the over. If you had a free bet on the total here at 53.5, would be your look?
I would lean over because Fresno State's, like I said, a well-oiled machine on offense. But the problem is going to be if they start scoring, can Wyoming match those scores? And if the play they did out of conference against those MAC teams that they played incited their offense to find a couple go-to plays, then maybe they're able to match it and it goes over. So I would lean heavily to the over.
Birdie giving us his Saturday looks. I can't wait for Saturday in NHL. I'm going to copy and paste that. We'll talk about that. Glenn Elliott Man says Wyoming Air Force only 38 last Saturday. Now that is, to me, more of a comment on Air Force. And we're going to be talking about Air Force here. We're going to be talking about Air Force. So let's keep rolling. One of the things that's interesting just in my own subconscious is that when the market starts moving towards an over, I have this feeling like, and I see big bets on the under. I'm like, oh, public's all over this over. I can't wait to bet the under and watch, wait till it's at its peak and bet under. But it's the opposite. When it starts moving under, I think, well, public doesn't really love unders. So why, and then I see big bets on the over, then I just get confused and I don't exactly know how to handle the situation, but clearly big bets coming in on the over. Big Boss opening up his Saturday card here with Fresno State. Nupflashan says with Fresno's defense shuts them down, Fresno continues to score. Check the team total over for Fresno. Top shelf plays also liking the over in this spot. All right, let's move on to the next spot. And this one is fun because we already broke this game down, and I moved on Western Kentucky first half -7 at -110, and the market has not moved. The market has not moved in this spot at all. Western Kentucky was -12.5 across the board, and there were a couple 12. And that's the exact same thing that's happened. And this total is at 66 at Pinnacle from 68.5. And look, we've seen Western Kentucky's high-octane offense and what Bailey Zapp is able to do, 21 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. And going up against an Old Dominion team that is coming off great games. And Ricky Ronnie, who is the offensive coordinator at Penn State, has really turned the program around. Now, they've had interesting spots because they lose by 1 point at home to Buffalo as 13-point dogs. And Buffalo was up 35-7 at the half, clearly took their foot off the gas. And then they lose 28-21 at UTEP. One of the reasons why I was like, man, and we're going to get into this with Kansas State in our next game, but I was like, man, I think that these scores aren't fair, aren't a realistic example of this team's offense, was because both games they blocked punts and ran them in for scores. And I was like, well, they're not going to do that against Marshall. They were excellent against Marshall. Excellent. Lost 2013 in overtime. All these other teams came in underestimating ODU. My thought here is that Western Kentucky won't, because they've lost 4 straight and they're angry. And they didn't look bad in any of those losses. 38-35 at Army, 33-31 at Indiana. They covered both of those, 6.5 and 9.5 point dogs respectively. They lose by 17 to Michigan State, but they gained them 560 to 519. Out first down them 31-26. And then they lost that barn burner to UTSA. So I can't wait to hear your breakdown. And I'm nervous if it's on the other side. And I know you believe in this ODU team. So take it away. Western Kentucky, ODU.
Oh no, I just like the defense on the ODU team, but this is a third-year coach versus a first-year coach. Now, third-year coaches are on their way, and this guy has the offense at Western Kentucky booming. He has the quarterback he wants. He's able to put up points, but he just haven't been able to close the door on defense. So this guy's a over machine right here. But the Old Dominion, like I said, it was a fade of the teams that didn't play in 2020. But now they play against this Western Kentucky team, and it looks like a bum fight. And Western Kentucky really has a good offense, and Old Dominion really has a good defense. So if Old Dominion is at home, I'm gonna call them OD. If the Old Dirties is at home in a bum fight right here, you're supposed to take the points with the home bum. So on the total side, I kind of like taking OD and the points. But if you have any faith in OD, then you mean the defense is going to slow this offense down maybe a little bit. And if not, he's going to come out and play a chess match because Western Kentucky doesn't know what he holds in his hands. So Old Dominion's defense can get on the field with a few good stops, a few good turnovers. This game can go under, and I like the under 66 in this one.
That makes sense. That does make sense. We've watched ODU's offense at work, and it's not very good. I like DJ Mack Jr., though. I like what he can do. I like him being a dual threat, but 5 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. He's not very comfortable in the pocket. So I think that makes sense. I do. And I think that Western Kentucky comes out very angry. This is the fifth in total offense, first in passing offense, 11th in scoring offense in the nation. And they're angry, and they've lost 4 straight. So I really like that first half look. And then I think that under makes sense. I'm going to add it here to a possible bet for me, but I'm already on Western Kentucky first half -7. Starchild said this would be the first under game for Western Kentucky this season, and it's the right opponent for that.
It's got to go as sometimes like we look at stats a lot of time and we see over 5-0 or whatever, but hey, that one time got to come somewhere. Most stats don't have the O behind it. They usually have a 1 or 2 or some numbers behind it as well. So they got to catch an under somewhere in this. And I think the fact that they don't know what Old Dominion is coming with, they don't have much film. It's a new coach. He's been coming out playing great defense. Maybe he can figure something out to slow down Western Kentucky.
All right, I like it. I like it. By the way, I did miss. It is Sebastian A's birthday today. Thank you for letting me know that I missed that, Jose. Sebastian's birthday. Happy. I'd love to know what number it is, so we know if you're about to peak, or your balls are sagging real low. Whatever it is, I will give you an inspiring monologue. But let us know how old you're turning, Sebastian A. And happy birthday, my man. Thank you for rolling with us. Okay. Let's roll on to the next spot on the card, and this is fun. Manhattan, Kansas. Iowa State Cyclones 3-2, 1-1 in the Big 12. At Kansas State Wildcats 3-2, 0-2 in the Big 12. I do realize now that I didn't talk about the cash flow. We barely had any cash flow the first time that Western Kentucky game was on. Now we have 1,878 tickets in. So very quickly, 71% of the tickets are on Western Kentucky, 87% of the cash. And then 46% of the tickets, 71% of the cash on the under. I'm going to move on that under. Great breakdown, boss. I don't have my – oh, by the way, also, I only have 2 bets in action right now on Saturday. I have Rutgers -2, and again, I got the ass end of that line, but it was under the key number for me. So I still took it. And then this Western Kentucky first half -7. All right, 7:30 p.m. We go into the Iowa State-Kansas game. Iowa State opening up as 4.5-point favorites. That's moved to 6.5. This total opened up at 51.5 and is dropping slightly to 50.5 and 51. Let's see if we can see the cash in this game. And there we go. 1,777 tickets in. 61% of the tickets on Iowa State, 53% of the cash. Then we have 51% of tickets on the over and 98% of cash on the over. Maxwell Smart says K-State or pass. Millsy excited about this K-State breakdown. He says his team is K-State. All right. Let's go. Iowa State comes in off their bye week. And Kansas State also comes in off their bye week. So two fresh squads going at each other. 3 weeks ago, Iowa State lost 31-29 at Baylor as 7-point favorites. They lost despite outgaining them 479-282. They bounced back with an easy 59-7 win at home over Kansas as 34.5-point favorites. In Manhattan, the Cyclones have 7 straight losses. 8 straight, if you count that game played at Arrowhead. Kansas State also comes in off their bye week after 2 tough losses. 3 weeks ago, they lose 31-20 to Oklahoma as 6-point dogs. Followed that up by losing 37-31 at home to then number 6 Oklahoma as 12.5-point dogs. Malik Knowles has returned kickoffs for touchdowns the last 2 weeks. The coach says he's just not going to kick to him. Not going to kick to him. That's not easy. That takes usually a professional kicker. 6-year senior Skylar Thompson is healthy and he's playing well. So it comes down to Breece Hall against a tough Kansas State defense. And the market has moved 2 points towards Kansas State, but some bigger bets have come in on Kansas State. Can't wait till you break this down, boss. Take it away, Iowa State, Kansas State.
First off, this got a classic underlook in it right here. 2 great defenses and a poor offense. And Kansas State offense ranked 96. What led me to this game was looking over the defense, and Iowa State defense is lights out right now. Number 3 in the nation, in some spots on defense, they rank higher than Georgia. And you've seen that Georgia defense is wonderful. So, always leaning towards the defensive team right here, both coming off a bye. I think that Iowa State is going to have and this was a team that I wasn't high on at the beginning of the season. They kind of had to prove themselves to me, but we meet the point now where they real. And going forward, this is, like I said, it's rejuvenation after those bye weeks. I think they put their foot in the sand, they run over Kansas State, and they make a good name for themselves for the rest of the season. So I like Iowa State big time right here, and I also like the under right here, just classic underlook. Iowa State got number 3 defense and Kansas State number 96 offense. That just don't go together. I'll take Iowa State every time with that.
Very interesting, because at this point, the market. Now, one of the things that I love about Boss and cappers of his ilk who are so confident in the sport that they focus all year on is they don't care about market moves. While I sit and stare at them. Now, this total has dropped to 51 or 50.5, but Sports Insight says all of the big bets have come in on the over. Glenn Elliott Mann says Iowa State, Kansas State under. Ron Crawford agrees with both of your looks. All right. So, boss, moving on. Iowa State. Did you get a better line than the 6.5 available?
No, I'm headed to Vegas too, Jimmy. So I'm gonna drop it when I get there.
Wow. Okay. And the under, and we'll see what that is. All right. Brady said I was still would have popped in quick and dropped plays that will never stop, but not having Jimmy look in the camera, eyes popping, spazzing on me was what I was worried I would lose. Brady, come on, what do I spazz at you, man? Come on, buddy. That's great news, though. We thought we're losing Birdie to have to go back to work, but he says that at least until the new year, 1 day a week. So we got Birdie and I.
Let's go.
That's wonderful, wonderful news. Okay, so there you go. Boss minus 6.5 on Iowa State and the under 51. And I'm trying to have everything line up and correlate perfectly for me to bet it. And just seeing all these big bets on the over is probably going to keep me off of it. But I'm fascinated with the game. All right, let's move on to the final spot on Boss's card. 9 p.m. Eastern. Air Force Falcons 5-1, 2-1 in the Mountain West at Boise State. Broncos 3-3, 1-1 in the Mountain West. Boise State opening up as 6-point favorites, and that's dropped to 3.5. It's dropped to 4 at Pinnacle. Wow, a huge drop. We are clearly late to the party. The last drop came yesterday, but this was dropping immediately from the opener. People loving this Air Force football team. Let's go over to the cash and see if that is the same here. Show me Air Force. They don't do this, but no. Okay, I'm gonna have to find this. Oh, here we go. 2,105 tickets in, and they're only giving us spread. So on the spread, 63% of tickets on Air Force and 76% of cash. So that makes perfect sense. Topset saying, "Will your plays be on Twitter, boss? Or maybe you go live from Vegas with your action?" We'll let boss answer that in a second. All right, here we go. Albertson Stadium in Boise, Idaho. We have Air Force playing tough, dynamic football. Coming off a comfortable 24-14 win at home over Wyoming as 5.5-point favorites. They won 3 of their last 4 road games. So Zeke Daniels has thrown for 494 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. We already know about their ground game. So adding in a bit of a passing game has really helped. The ground game averaging 341.3 yards per game. Brad Roberts, 680 yards, 6 touchdowns. And defensively is where Air Force is shining, allowing 16.2 points and 280.8 yards per game. Boise State comes in off their best win of the year, 26-17 at then number 10 BYU as 6-point dogs. Now, they were outgained 413-312, but did not turn the ball over, while BYU turned the ball over 4 times. Hank Bachmeier completing 65.1% passes, 1,692 yards, 11 touchdowns, 4 picks. Ron Crawford says, spreadsheet stat team, better rush and defense, 26-9 against the spread, and Air Force plus 3.5 follows that perfectly. All right, and the straight cash homie, David Summers, look, going right back to the wagon. Alabama, first quarter, minus 5.5. This is exciting. I can't wait for your breakdown here. Take it away, Air Force, Boise.
Oh, this is one of my brute plays right here. I might be in my feelings a little bit, but it's funny. People look at this game and they so high on Air Force, and they're not going to mention that Boise State beat BYU. I mean, that was major for. That's one of the major games for Boise State. I think that was a confidence builder for Boise State. Now here they are at home against this Air Force team that I feel that they just been getting lucky in the air, man. You should see these 3rd and 9 passes that they throw in. I don't know how these people are wide open like this, but they playing a Boise team that they play all the time, and they've seen all that they can see of Air Force year in and year out, and Boise's been getting the best of them for year in and year out as well. And I don't see Air Force by no means winning the Mountain West with they get up over there. I mean, if you get a little time to study for the option, everybody take care of their responsibilities. You slow that team down on 3rd and 6 and 3rd and 9 where they have to throw the ball, and then you go take it from them. And then on top of that, banged up again is their big tight end Patterson, as well as a few wide receivers. Now, how a team that throw every blue moon got banged up receivers, that's just ridiculous. But I think this Air Force team is going to fall off the horse at some time, and I think Boise State going to be right here to do it in this one right here. I hope it goes all the way down to 3, and people really come in on Air Force. But I'm taking Boise State off top in this one for the win, minus 3.5.
This makes sense. It makes sense. It also makes sense that, people saw this line at 6 and thought Air Force is playing better football now, they can keep it close. But now down at 3.5, you'd have to think that if it even came close to going to 3, that the Sharps would then go for the middle. Top Shelf loving Boise State. Glenn Elliott, man, already on Boise State. There's our guy Trusty in the house. This is I like this. We're sitting back, watching the market move too far in one direction and trying to pick that perfect spot. And I also don't think it could possibly go to 3. Very, very interesting breakdown from our DJ Big Boss. He's on Boise State minus 3.5. And I'm very interested in tailing that. I love it. There you go from DJ Big Boss. When you off to Vegas?
When I get off this show, man, I'm head on out to Vegas, man, so I could be there. You can catch me on the Pub Sports tomorrow morning with Ian, Big Ragu, and my man Connor Mack out there. I might go knock on Connor Mack door at 6 in the morning and sit next to him on the show. I don't know. It depends on how wild my Friday night gets, though. But right here at McBoss Burgers, man, we do pancakes, man, but we don't do pancakes like everybody else do pancakes. We don't put no peaches and syrup and chocolate chips and all that. We just got some good old pancakes, and that's how I feel about that Boise Steak. Just take some regular old good old pancakes and take it for the road, man. Let's go.
We'll drive safe to Vegas, my friend. Also, don't forget Sweaty Butcher's coming in for Game 4 of the Braves Dodgers series, so he wants to hook up with you and Nolly out in L.A.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
Clove Coleon, the Vegas King, says, "Don't do it, Jimmy. Says, don't do it about backing this Boise State squad." I'm gonna keep an eye out. On this spot and wait for to pull the trigger for sure. Can't wait till you get over to Vegas and come live from Vegas. What casino can the guys meet you at if you're going to be up and at 'em?
You know I'm gonna be over at that classic Orleans, man. Low baggers always lingering around the Orleans, man. So come on over there, meet me by the bar. I'll be over there watching the games, man. Pull up on me. But also, man, my plays. I know we all do Twitter for years now and all that stuff, but my presence on Twitter hasn't been that much. I'm with the new school people, and I'm on Instagram and TikTok, man. So catch me over there on Instagram, WB_sports talk. Or catch me at the TikTok, Who Bangin' Sports Talk, man. I'll be putting all my plays up over there on Thursdays, and today I'm gonna do it when I get off the show. So catch me on all my plays for my card, and definitely come and hang out with us on the show, because a lot of times I give out way better picks on the show and games that I'm not interested in than the actual ones that I end up taking. But come check me out for some good information.
I love it. And can you let us know very quickly here what's going on at Who Bangin'? There's the NBA breakdown from our Wham Bam out.
Wham Bam's back on the scene, man. You know, NBA is coming. Wham Bam's on there with some of his stuff. So, you catch him on Wham Talk Wednesdays. He's back. So he got some breakdowns over the different conferences and stuff in NBA that's up right now. Also, we got my man Dom Ricci giving out some sports betting tips in our Who Bangin' sports betting lab, where we give out just some advice, some trends, stuff like that, little bettors information. Can't never stop learning from each other with our experiences and some of the stuff we see. So check those out as well, man. And I'd also be dropping my plays on YouTube as well, so you can catch them right there, Who Bangin' Sports on YouTube.
We love you, DJ Big Boss. Follow this man at DJ Big Boss on Twitter, even though he's just gonna fuck off and hang out with the kids on Instagram. We love you, man. Thank you for sharing all of your insights and hard work with us. And have a giant weekend in Vegas, my man.
Absolutely. I'm gonna have that cash and that dirty water, Jimmy.
Gotta have the dirty water, man. Got to. There he is, DJ Big Boss in the house. We move on to NHL. I truly believe we're going to have a giant season in NHL. And just because it was taken away from us, and then we had this season and above all this stuff, I feel like all of the NHL cappers are so excited that it's not just divisional games, that we're back to everything, travel, all the fun. Like I really think that we're going to have an exceptional season this year. And it started out middling, 4-5. The average line's plus 115. That's another thing that you'll get from us is a average line of plus money. 4-5 down a half unit. And yesterday we went 2-3 down 0.65 units. But both of our cashers, Jackets -1 at plus 115 and Kings plus 130 at home were easy cashers. All right, let's get to work now. And Robert Cherry coming in as well with Devils money line over 6, Flyers money line under 6, Wild money line over 5.5. And again, I find this very difficult. I find this NHL card tricky. And first off, every team here, and then we got Birdie's Saturday spots. Every game here has a team that I can't figure out, except for the 10 p.m. spot with the Minnesota Wild and Anaheim Ducks. So that could be a spot where maybe I could comfortably pull the trigger on Minnesota, but we'll talk about market moves, talk about everything else. 7 p.m., we get started here with the Chicago Blackhawks at New Jersey Devils. I still don't know what the Chicago Blackhawks are this year. I don't know. I think as soon as Kirby Dach is the first-line center of this team, then I can sit back and say, okay, I'm starting to understand this. But when they have a player who is a healthy scratch on a Stanley Cup winning team as a first-line center, and look, I know he scored big goals and stepped up and, was a big part of the dynasty over in Tampa. But Tyler Johnson as first-line center, I still haven't quite wrapped my head around. And again, a problem with tonight is that I watch the Canucks play, so I'll be watching the Canucks Flyers game. So I'm not sure, and I need to get information on the Devils. I badly need information on the Devils. First off, the Devils open up as minus 128 favorites. There's been a 1 cent move to the Blackhawks. 1 cent move, so very little. Then from a totals perspective, the 6.5 has dropped down to a 6. And even that, I'm interested in and don't fully understand. They're saying with confidence that this market is going to move towards the Blackhawks. So with the money line, you have 68% of the tickets and 66% of the cash on the Blackhawks. And clearly could be a vividness bias of how bad the Devils were. And we can expect a change here. Then we have 58% of tickets and 58% of cash on the under. And it's interesting that the under is being bet because if you remember everything, you would say, oh, man, the Blackhawks were the overs. We hit overs, hammered overs nonstop. Cindy Plays Horses says, love all teams that beat the Leafs. Ballard curse is real. Yes, it is real. Yes, thank you, Dommy Gunn. Thank you for always looking out. It means so much that you do that. TJ says, hockey question in general, what are your thoughts on betting -1 versus betting the 3-way line? Do you find one is better value? Well, I tell you, the -1 line has helped me out very much because my plan so far this year is to not take the -1 line on dogs because that was something that hurt me in the first half of last season. And you guys know when I've had my highest highs, it was only puck lines. So I'm still evolving with my handicapping. But here, if it's a -1 line for me, it's generally on a favorite, which is generally on the better team, which means that once it gets to overtime or a shootout, I have a higher than 50% chance, I believe, of pushing. So that is why I prefer the -1. Birdie says Blackhawks win in New Jersey. I have endorsed a Blackhawks moneyline bet, but that game in Colorado was very physical. And I believe Blackhawks plus 1.5 in the parlay makes the most sense. Northander says Devils game totals over last year was my best ROI in the NHL. I love hearing that, Northander. Ron Crawford says home teams eating. Fans back, pumps them up. Be careful. 13-4 with home teams. I saw you drop that stat earlier in the show, Ron. And my first thought was, damn, because I've lost on 2 of them with the Predators and the Habs. Okay, so let's do a couple things here. The first thing we'll do is I would like to discuss what happened in the offseason with this. Here we go. I'd like to discuss what happened in the offseason with this Devils team because there were changes. And the biggest change is Dougie Hamilton coming to the defense because they have a young team. And I thought a lot of Will Butcher and I thought a lot of these young defensemen. And they brought on PK Subban to stabilize this defense, and it blew up in their face. It completely he's been a terrible, terrible pickup and not worth the cash. And you have Jack Hughes and Nico Hischier, and you're waiting for this team to step up. You're sitting back waiting for this team to play at a very high level. And we're waiting for Kako, and we're waiting for Alexis Lafreniere to do the same thing with the Rangers because we have a vividness of what those draft picks are supposed to do. Now, the Oilers haven't been able to do that due to bad management. They haven't been able to take McDavid and Draisaitl and a host of other number 1 overall picks that blew up in their face. But we all remember that dynasties were created in Chicago and Pittsburgh following the exact same system. So you have to think that this Devils team is going to be a nice bet for you in the marketplace because everybody has a vividness of them being a bad hockey team. Now, their goaltending is and can be considered a suspect. And Mackenzie Blackwood is day-to-day right now. He was also, unvaccinated, and there were a lot of pressure on him to become vaccinated. So now you have Scott Wedgwood and Jonathan Bernier. Thinking of Matt Bernier, the great horse racing capper. Jonathan Bernier, and I don't trust either of them. Under no circumstances do I want to back the Devils with Bernier or Wedgwood between the pipes? So if that's the case, then why would I not be thinking that overs would be the spot here and go up against this market move towards the under. I mean, that's the first thing that jumps out at me is that if 6 is a push, well, that sounds very good to me. So Bernier has been confirmed. I'm going to get the exact goaltending situation because here with the cash flow, they say it's going to be Kevin Lankinen. And what did we see from Lankinen last year was he was excellent. He was excellent for the first half of the season, and then he completely fell apart. And he's confirmed. So now I'll tell you what, I don't trust either Lankinen or Bernier. I don't trust either of them. Turnsey says, I like Bernier. Look, you like anybody that wears the red and white. Turnsey, great to see you, though, Turnsey. We miss you. Turnsey in the house. Mr. Gokster says, Bernier in net tonight and Lankinen over. I don't. Let's just go back to this cash flow again. How could there be 58% tickets, 58% cash on the under with these two squads? Now, we know that the Devils are coached in a conservative fashion. But you have to think that will change now. They had only got 21 games with Nico Hischier in the lineup. And then when Hischier wasn't in the lineup, you could put all your focus on Jack Hughes. And then what happened was you had no offense whatsoever. North Ender says, I bet the over 6 last night at minus 120. And I get why you would. Mr. Gokster says the first period over is heavy juice. What is that telling you? Mark Nick says, my best bet in NHL nights, take the Flyers, their home opener, Philly having a pep rally going on right now. Okay, so Robert Cherry's on the over 6 in this spot as well. There's excitement in New Jersey with these young forwards. And you also have to think that, look, I'm not a big Dougie Hamilton guy. And mainly it's because he's being passed around from team to team to team. And a player who is Corsi ratings at times to be number 1 in the league as a defenseman, you think, why doesn't anybody want to keep this kid? So obviously there got to be some sort of character issues. Trinity says, how about Tyler Bertuzzi last night? Tyler Bertuzzi is a monster. And Cindy says, with these goalies, hubby says, hammer the over. I agree, but I have to admit that there is some fear instilled here that, okay, but here's a big part of this. So we have this Pinnacle opened this at 6.5 and moved it to 6. So 30 minutes ago, they moved it back to 6.5. This is going to end up at 6.5. This is at 6 at minus 125 right now. And that's a lot of juice. I don't trust these goaltenders. It's got to be the over. Sweaty Butcher says enough about the Blackhawks. We want to hear Jose talk about the Red Sox. Well, we do have something happening here at the end of the show that I don't know about for 20 minutes. That will be coming soon. Dennis says, I'd wait, Cindy. This might go back up to 6.5, make the odds better than what they are too. I would not do that, Trusty. It's very important, I think, from a spot where you're going to make bets on a sport for a long period of time, your quantity will be high, that the 6 is a push. You want to have a 3-2 hockey game where you can get the push. Mr. Gokster says Lankinen was great until teams figured him out. Plus money on Chicago. Give me Chicago. And Turnsey says, can we get an update on how Jose is doing in NHL? I will volunteer to fire my best slap shot at his head if he fails. I like that. And the truth is that he's down just a unit. Just a solitary unit. So we'll be keeping an eye on him if he wants to talk hockey. I agree. I don't see how the over 6 is not the spot here. Now, Lankinen came out hot. We'll see if he can continue to do that. And we'll move over after a game. Let's see if the Blackhawks have any thoughts of changing these line combos, and they don't at this point. So there you have it. Okay, so I've got my first spot on the board. I didn't expect to do it. Over 6 at Blackhawks Jersey. Let's move over to the Vancouver Knuckleheads at Philadelphia Flyers, Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I had the pleasure of watching a Canucks game in that very arena. Very, very, very enjoyable spot to be in. Okay, let's talk about this spot. And I tell you what, I was thinking about this last night. I was thinking about this morning. I do not know what to do with these Vancouver Canucks right now because they're not a bad hockey team. And, you know, they're not a good hockey team. And Thatcher Demko, if he gets hot, this team can go on a run. And I don't know what know how to bet them right now. This total was initially juiced to the under. It's now juiced to the over. And the Flyers opened up as minus 150 favorites. There's been an 8-cent move to the Vancouver Canucks. Remo says Demko and Hart confirmed, and Dennis Garcia is on Vancouver money line. When I say I don't know what to do with the Vancouver Canucks, it's more of a thing where I know these players very well. I just think that I've been a little hard on them. And at the beginning of the year, they've moved Hoglander down to the third line. They moved Chason off the first line. I mean, that was just ludicrous. And Tyler Myers played maybe the best game I've ever seen him play in my life. And that's a big deal. And then if they can get some momentum, what happens when Besser comes back? Maybe it's not a bad hockey team. And I'm hesitant to fade them right now. And then we go to the Philadelphia Flyers, and I cannot believe what's happened to this lineup in a year. I've always been a big Couturier guy. I love how he's accountable. He's got soft hands. He's big enough. There's so many things that he does that, where you can just tick the check boxes that you want in a starting center. And Giroux and Konechny, that should be a nice line. The fact that Derek Brassard is on the second line is awful. Now, Farabee has a very high upside, and he's playing with Cam Atkinson, who now has a lot to prove. And then you have JVR, who got off to that incredible start in that short season and then completely tailed off, but he got in that incredible start. And is he more than just a power play guy that you want in front of the net? I don't know if he is. So then you have Lawton and Lindblom. Now, the pickup of Ryan Ellis, I guess what will happen for me is I will always have an issue with small defensemen if they're not power play specialists. And I was a big Ryan Ellis fan, coming out of that Windsor team that was the best. I know the London Knights have had a couple teams that would argue with that, but that Windsor team might have been the best, one of the top 5 junior teams of the last 20 years. And I thought he improved a lot, but with the ability to clear the front of the net and things of that nature. But I wouldn't want Ryan Ellis on my top defensive unit. I wouldn't want Ryan Ellis playing 25 minutes a game. For me, I want a Darnell Nurse. I want Colton Parayko. That to me is the defenseman that I want on the ice 25 minutes a game. It's not Provorov and Ellis and Sanheim and Braun. And then they bring over Yandel. I don't know why they did that for the life of me. I see, and Ixnizzle hearing that Chubb is out for Sunday. Thank you for letting us know that, Ixnizzle. And Mark Schlingberg said that's the plan. Yeah, Lankinen starts tonight. Then the Flower starts in Pittsburgh. So great call there. All right. And then thoughts on Eric Brandstrom for the Sens. I guess I would need to study Brandstrom a little more, Mr. Gozer, before I could give a thoughtful, really thoughtful answer to that. So Turnsey said, I've seen Ellis drop the mitts a couple times in Windsor. Mark Nick says, listen, guys, take the Flyers and see you at the window. I tell you what, there are more question marks with this Philadelphia Flyers team than there are for the Seattle Kraken team. There's no team that has more question marks because you got Carter Hart in net and what a train wreck he was last year. And I've not seen goalies, and I'd love to see an example, and I'm sure there is one, to be that unbelievably awful and then bounce back. Now, we've seen it with pitchers. Doc Holliday had an ERA over 6. They tweaked a couple things. He came back. Is a goalie coach capable of turning around Carter Hart, and what are the issues for Carter Hart? And now you've got to trust him. It's the same thing with the Panthers. It's a different, obviously, but the Panthers pay Bobrovsky $10 million a year, and I know it cuts down a little bit at the end of his contract, but you have to start him game 1, even if Spencer Knight outplayed him in the preseason, because you have to see if there's a possibility that you get some return on the investment. And they put a ton of faith in Hart, and I can't have it as well. So Dennis Trusty says, what is a Canuck? Canuck, we had a skiing Canuck is another word for Canadian. And we had a group of skiers that took Canada by storm a long time ago called the Crazy Canucks. And Canuck just means Canadian. It just means Canadian. Okay, so Dennis says Carter Hart will be fine. Real Deal Prime says my money's on Philly. I do not want to touch this game at all. And when Thatcher Demko gets hot, we'll back the Canucks like crazy, and we'll also hammer unders. Remo says, I like the Flyers, and the chat does as well, but I'm uneasy when Jimmy, a Canucks supporter, isn't giving a stamp of approval. I liked what I saw from the Canucks in that game against the Oilers. It was because of Tyler Myers. Look, if Tyler Myers is going to play physical, this is a completely different hockey team. Tyler Myers, look, now he was at a price point where the Jets certainly didn't want to play him, but he was a third-line defenseman for the Jets, and the Jets didn't have a strong defense, and they laughed when the Canucks signed him for that money. And that was the first time I saw him play strong. Real Deal Prime says Vancouver won't be sharp early. Philadelphia holds the lead. Mr. Gogser said thoughts on the under here. I think these teams will play the unders, but I got to see what happens to Carter Hart right away. I mean, what happens when that first red light flashes behind him? 2,774 tickets in, 73% of tickets, 73% cash on the Flyers, and 56% of tickets, 97% cash on the under. Only in hockey, not Flush Island, do they have dressing rooms. Okay. And Brady says, how can you say Carter Hart will be fine? After Dennis said, he said, I'm 100% waiting on betting the Flyers till I know Hart is fine because the assumption should be he will not be. Cindy says, not a fan of Fletcher. He's ruining the Flyers. They need Clark and Leach back. Well, everybody loves Bobby Clark, but everyone loves him as a guy, wants to have beers with him. But do they want him running the hockey team is a question. Okay, Mr. Gosa says, I think it's an under here. You could definitely be right, but I need to watch the Flyers play. Have to. And the Flyers should have a very dangerous power play. And one of the things for me, and we've seen how many penalties are being called, is you're just simply not going to want to bet an under with a team that you expect to have a good power play. And that was seen in that Panthers Penguins game, because that game 5-on-5 was a dead nuts under. But at one point, the Penguins were 2 for 8 on the power play and got another power play. So, all right. Piker says a Canuck wouldn't speak to Bernie Kosar. I would throw caution to the wind. Okay. Dennis Garcia says, considering your Nylander takes... Oh, okay. So you guys are battling back and forth. All right. Let's move on to the Minnesota Wild at Anaheim Ducks. And I think this Minnesota Wild is going to be a very good hockey team this year. And I think the Central is a very good division. But the Anaheim Ducks are not a team that you want to fade at home. You're never going to get value doing that now, maybe because they won game 1 so convincingly, 4-1 over the Jets. Maybe we'll see some value for them at home. So let's do that right now. Now, also, I want you guys to know that another thing is that my capping of the NHL games is going to drastically change once we have information, analytics, Corsi numbers, power play numbers. Right now, what I've decided to do is have these games up and the lines up and watch these games and kind of go for feel. That will only be for about a week. So these breakdowns will drastically change as we move forward into the season. So Minnesota Wild, I'm high on them. And it's easy to be high on them. But we've seen what happened in Nick Suzuki after the Giant contract. What's going to happen to Kaprizov after the Giant contract? Is he going to be squeezing the stick a little too tight? We knew as soon as Zuccarello got healthy that you put a nice big center in between him and Kaprizov and you have a good line. And that's what they've done with Joel Eriksson. So here we go. Minnesota opens up at minus 156. They're now minus 163, a 7-cent move towards them. And then from a total standpoint here in this spot, we have it opening up at 5.5. Juice to the under, and it's gone even further, a 2-cent move to the under. We know how Minnesota wants to play. They want to play a defensive style, and they want Kirill Kaprizov and their power play to take over. And they made some big decisions when they let Parise and Suter go. They knew that would hurt them, short time, because it would still count against their salary cap. But it was a message to the young players on the team that this is your team. And Brodin and Dumba, I mean, it's their team now on defense. It's not Suter's team. So you have 75% of the tickets and 65% of the cash on Minnesota. Then you have 70% of the tickets, 73% of cash on the over, and yet it's moving towards the under. I've been watching this. Ron Crawford says, same here. Spreadsheet needs data. Absolutely. Glenn Elliott Man says, Gibson starting one of the best goalies in the league. He was. And you have to wonder, why was he as bad as he was last year? And it's because maybe he checked out with such a bad hockey team. So one thing that I thought, and I didn't bet it, and I was hoping for a bigger number, and it was a mistake, but I think that Gibson will be very good in the beginning of the year because everybody will be trying. And it looked like in the second half of last year, Gibson just said, look, I don't care. I'm not trying. So let's move over to this Wild lineup and do a quick once over for them. But I tell you what, I don't want to bet against the Ducks at home all year. And the only thing that makes me want to bet against them a little bit is that they just won 4-1 and feel good about themselves. That makes me want to bet against them a little bit. I love Foligno and Greenway on the same line together. They're going to physically beat up this Anaheim squad. What the Wild have done is they put together a team that's bigger and tougher than you are. And they're going to hurt you. And then you have Kaprizov and Zuccarello. And I want to know what Kaprizov is going to do with this contract that he's dealing with. Jared Spurgeon became an elite defenseman last year in front of our eyes. And I think that Brodin and Dumba pairing is very, very good. The question is, can Joel Eriksson be a first-line centerman and a first-line power play specialist, or will Frederick Goodrow take over that spot from him? And do you believe in what you saw from Cam Talbot last year? That's the question. Do you believe in what you saw from Cam Talbot last year? Brady says, as crazy as this sounds, that was a big win for the Ducks the other night. For a team like the Ducks, getting the first win is a major exhale spot, especially after scoring 4 goals. Michael Evelina says, I think everyone forgets the Ducks were severely injured last season. They were the 49ers of hockey last year. Hoops on 9 says, I want to be a Canuck too. How do I apply? Easy. You bang the first Canadian woman that you see, and you make her fall in love with you. Arthur Meade Jr. said, I told you, Jimmy, Anaheim for the 3-way line. That was a huge score for you. Slatsy says, Wild are actually 7-0 in their last 7 against the Ducks. Birdie says, there are people in that organization who believe they will not be good, so getting that first win is very important. Glenn Elliott Man says, Kaprizov scores a goal at plus 161. We have to see how Kaprizov handles this huge contract and the pressure that comes with it. I think Minnesota is a very good hockey team. And maybe they come in and run. And if they do, even on the road, we probably won't get this line. So let's just see what we get right now if we back the Wild on the -1 line, because they're the better hockey team. There's no doubt about that. And is the 4-1 win enough for us to move? The -1 is barely a plus line. -170 and plus 160. I don't know if I want to move on it. Johnny K says 3-1 Ducks. Ron Crawford on Wild on the 3-way. The fact that they won 4-1 is almost enough for me to bet against the Ducks. But there was times last year where this Wild team would be winning hockey games. They'd go into California and play San Jose and the Ducks and get swept. And we'd be like, what the hell is going on? I thought this team was rolling. And the more I talk about it, the more I don't want anything to do with it. Dennis Trusty says, Wild 3-way is the start of a good porn title. Yeah, you're right, Trusty. I think that I'll be better off never fading the Ducks at home and never fading the Sharks at home. I think you're always going to get value there. Dennis says, what happened to betting Anaheim at home? I just think this Wild team is too good. And I don't ever want to fade the Ducks at home. I guess it comes down to that. And the only thing that makes me kind of want to do it is the 4-1 loss. So I'm not going to move on this game. Matty Ice says no taint, but I'm on the Astros over 8 tonight. So I'm going to move on the over 6 in Blackhawks Devils. Over 6 in Blackhawks Devils. Birdie says, yes, Jimmy, the last 30 games last year, the Wild were the best team in the league. No reason to believe they will not start strong. I agree with that. But I'll tell you, Birdie, Kaprizov had a lot to prove last year. And he won. He succeeded. He got this huge contract. Now what's he going to do? I don't know. And I just don't think there's going to be value fading the Ducks at home. I keep saying that over and over. All right, so only one look for me. Now, I tell you what. Birdie's already given us his looks for Saturday. I'm going to pop it in the chat, and I'm going to be all over this Saturday card. I'm going to spend tonight on it, and, there's no show, so I'll just tweet it out. So that's Birdie's NHL card, by the way. Sorry, I should have said that. Birdie's NHL card. Okay, let's review everything, and then what happens next, I have no idea. Jose has put something in store for us, and I don't know what's going to happen next. So let's review action here. Ron Crawford spreadsheet play of the day is Houston, and it's also UCLA +2 in football. Eric Rosas backed Danny's look on Emmanuel Navarrete to win by KO -115. It's ESPN boxing tonight. Jay Peasy is on the Sky -3. Spenny Pennybombs is on the Flyers -1. In regulation at +155. Blackhawks +110. Wild -1.5 at +165. Then Big Guy Bubba says Oregon is going to be clean and easy money tonight. And Boss agreed with it. And the market, especially with that team total at 34.5, heavily juiced to the over. Heavily, -135 says Oregon's going to score at will. Piker is on Syracuse +13.5 and Cal +13.5. Says 2 healthy dogs. And the gift that looks like Syracuse is, I can't trust. I've moved on 2 spots in the baseball game, and I see big bets coming in on the under, and I'm nervous. But I have a run in the first inning at -115 and the first 5 over 4.5. Dennis Garcia says, I'll say Jose doesn't get booted. Your guess is as good as mine. Rem Most, I'm not betting the Bombers Eskimo game, so I just wanted to focus more on college football and then leave that alone. But I am now 13-9 and would be 13-7 if I didn't lose those double up spots on the Red Blacks. So I know Jose's going to take over here. I was planning on moving on North Texas in the under, and the breakdown has got me off of it. So there'll be no breakdown on that spot. Ooh, okay. All right. I'm seeing. Okay. Look, this is exciting. Okay. Then the curb stomp play of the day is Syracuse +13.5. And there's no gifts in sports betting. And I just don't believe this spot. And I can't support this spot here. Then Cal team total under 20.5 and Oregon under 54.5. I am going to move on. Then I'm curious about San Jose State. I'm very curious in that spot. Then the Fresno State for tomorrow is a big boss look. I'm not going to move on it. I'm already on Western Kentucky first half -7, and I think we're going to get our first under in the Western Kentucky Old Dominion spot. And then Boss likes Iowa State -6.5 in the under 51. I've seen big bets coming on the over, and I'm scared. He's also backing Boise State, likes the number at 3.5. I'm going to stay off of that at this point. And that is all, other than the over 6 that I'm on. All right. Glenn Elliott Man says the Elks are a mess. I agree with that. Dennis says Edmonton's the only way you can look. Perhaps the over. I just didn't cap it. I have no idea what's going to happen next. No idea. Jorge, take it away.
All right. Sorry. So honestly, Jim, I think I'm the most nervous I've ever been for something on this show. I'll admit to you freely, openly right now. We're very open with each other. I'd start off with a question. First of all, Jim, how long have you been doing this whole capping, this whole thing?
Well, capping or doing it publicly?
Publicly, I guess I should say.
I guess this would be what I think this is the beginning of my 5th year.
Oh, a 5th year. So I was told, a little birdie told me, a birdie who I'll affectionately call Unc from now on.
Okay.
Helped me and did a lot of the legwork for this, and I'm gonna bring him on here in a second. But congratulations from me to you on your 5-year anniversary of the Loback family. And to introduce this little film we have of you, this is my Unc, your Unc, my favorite Jets fan, Dommy Gunn.
Jimmy, how you doing today, baby? How's everybody doing in low bag land? Let me first thank Pub Sports for allowing us to do this. Let me thank Jose Bouquett for jumping in on this. The day I mentioned this to him, he jumped in wholeheartedly before I even finished out the whole thing of what I wanted to do. So thank you for the low baggers who helped out. Thank you for all the low baggers out there in the land. If you've been here 4 weeks or 4 years, everyone's contribution means a lot to all of us. And if I could have had all of yous in here, we'd be doing this all day. But since we couldn't do that, Jim, I've been calling you our fearless leader for a long time. This will prove it. Hit it, Jose.
Wow. Gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers.
Jimmy, what's up? It's Matty Ice.
What's up, Jimmy? It's your boy Razor Sharp Pinks.
Hi guys, Comic Ricky here.
Jimmy, my guy.
Jimmy the freaking bag. Has it actually been 5 years, bro? Congratulations.
Hey Jimmy, this is the entire Netflesh Allen family. We'd like to say congratulations on 5 years. That's 5 years of you building the low bag family.
Yo, what's up? Sweaty Butcher here. Give a quick shout out to my guy Jimmy the Bag.
Jimmy, it's your favorite ignoramus, Seamus. I'm here for you, buddy.
Jimmy the motherfucking bag. Yeah, man.
Hey, Jimmy. Big Guy Bubba here.
What's up, Jimmy? It's your boy Joey Work.
Yo, Jimmy, it's your guy, Boston Nick, a.k.a. Fish Tanks.
Hey, big shout out to my man, Jimmy the Bag.
So we're here to celebrate the man, Jimmy the fucking Bag's 5-year anniversary.
What's up, Jimmy? Thought this only be fitting that I do this from the sports book.
What's up, Lowbag family? This is Ant, aka Prince of the City, reporting live from Philly in a club that would be Maxwell Smart approved.
Well, look who it is. You didn't think you could put this off without me coming on board, did you? What does it mean to be a lowbag? Let me take you on a little journey. Petey Loshak, the man, the myth, the legend, in Costa Rica, reaches out to Jimmy the Bag, the big gambler, the bag, the douchebag, the kid that the mother threw out of the house, the grandmother couldn't stand, you know, the comedian from Toronto, Vancouver, the Canuck. These guys get in there and the word spreads like fire. Now, these group of guys in the chat that kind of follow these merry men, we were known as low baggers. So every day we come to this, you know, just like a cult, and we made a group of friends, and it's fantastic.
5 years of the low bag fam with the incomparable Jimmy the Bag as the ringleader. What can we say? I mean, it's hard to cultivate families. It's hard to keep them in line and get along with them, but we somehow do that. One betting community, all working together to beat the books, and we're all here together, Jimmy, because of you. Congratulations on 5 great years with the low bag family.
I just want to give you some love, man. Appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. From the very first time I came on the screen, when I was just a quiet little boy, and now I'm a man, and we yell, and there's no more rules.
It's been a long road, fun road. Me and you, I probably wouldn't be here speaking to you as we are right now. The people I've met through you, what you have done for me in this industry, times a million, you know that. I just wanted to thank you from the bottom of my heart. You're the fucking man. What we're building here, kicking ass and taking names, man. And again, I would not have met anybody if it wasn't for you. I got a family now, a true family now.
At the golf course with the lads, so it's just good times from here to the online fam. If you guys don't know Jimmy and the crew, it's a treat to be a part of. Let's just say that.
Jimmy, congrats, my guy. I mean, for you, especially, you brought me in to this family, and everyone's open arms from all you guys, from Babano, you know, to Ragu, to Dom, and you just leading it. You've been great to me, and I appreciate it, man.
5 years, man. What a ride it's been. First of all, I gotta say thank you to Loshak, not only for the knowledge and information that you share, but for giving me a voice. I mean, you guys give everybody a voice, and that's part of what makes the show special. So I appreciate you.
Win or lose, me and you, my dude, I defeated the juice. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Salute to the hardest working man in the business. A great motherfucking capper, and an even better man. Yo, man, real talk, I'm here because of you. I want to salute you, your family, and everything that you're about. You're a beautiful motherfucking person, Jimmy.
Well, I couldn't be honored or blessed to be with you with 2 years of it, my guy. I couldn't even explain or imagine where I'd even be without you, bro. You've done so much for me, and you've accepted me like I was one of your homies from day one, bro. You never acted better. You always acted like we were the same, my guy. And for that, I'll always look up to you. I'll always hold you a stool ahead of another man, bro.
I want to share with you an experience that I had with my dad and the Low Shack in the Bag show. My dad loved hearing a shout out to him from Jimmy and Pete saying I was a good capper. And that was nice of them to lie about it. But my point is, my dad passed away about 6 weeks after that. And to the end, he talked about how cool it was that those guys took the time to say something about him and me on the air. Can't beat that. That's why we're family.
And personally for myself, like I used to be depressed. I used to be in a dark place, and this show, this community brought me happiness. So it still brings me happiness, and I appreciate you guys for that.
I just wanted to reach out and tell you how thankful I am that you've shared a part of your life with us, the Low Bag family, when you told us all about Bernie Kosar and how your dad didn't want you to talk to him. And I know that was a very heartfelt and touching story, and I felt closer to you when you told it to me, and I know everyone else did too.
What's up to all the low baggers out there? Just wanted to say how proud of you I am, how happy I am to see all of your continued success. And I gotta say this, man, stumbling across a YouTube video 3 years ago of some Jameson bottles and the Toronto Raptors hat inspired me to create a Twitter account and get online and start building relationships and honing in my skills. And that's all thanks to you, man. All thanks to you. You've done a wonder for the world of gambling Twitter. You've done a wonder for the world of sports bettors getting to know each other and be successful across the internet.
The most unselfish, unbiased, hardworking sports handicapper I know. This does so much for everybody else. The chat is alive. We're family now and everything else.
Man, Jimmy, Pete, what a ride. Can't believe we're going on our 5th year. I am so happy to be here from the beginning and just so excited for what you guys have built. It's been such a ride. And I can say personally, just in the capping alone, the game plan, kind of the structure, the way of approaching games that has been set forth on your guys' show, I've definitely adopted. It's made me so much better. Let alone that put aside, I can say that from this chat alone, I've made lifelong friends. This show has lifted me up so many times when I've been down in my personal life and continues to do so.
Just want to take a few seconds and let you know, man, what a great person you are. What an amazing capper you are. What an amazing father you are. But what a great visionary you are with bringing us all together and creating this true low bag family that you created, man. You are our leader, and you put in so much hard work to ensure that we stick together in times of need. You know, when our capping sucks for a month of July, you know, to when, you know, you stay fire and stay hot. Everybody cashes with low baggers, and it means so much for me, what you've done to me and for me and my family, and just blessed to be part of this. And I'm even more blessed to call you a friend. So I appreciate you and all you do, brother. Love you.
Passion, keep getting this paper. Let's go. On another note, man, thanks, Jimmy, for keeping my dreams alive, man, and giving me some opportunities, supporting me, backing everything that I do, man. It's really you. It ain't even me. I just try to show up and show out, man. I appreciate you 1,000%.
Jimmy, congratulations on 5 years of creating the Low Bag family. I hope it continues. You have a great show with great content, and you're the most ingratiating person there is. You introduced me to great people in Miami, the Big Ragu, Dom Ricci, Steve Profit. I've met Connor Mack, Dutch Boy Fresh, the Allen family, Matt Randall. Everybody's great. I hope we continue all to prosper and have a great experience because you have a great show.
Jim, you're the man, bro. The way that you created this Low Bag family and kept us together, and the way that you taught us how to do video content, being professional, being prepared, and being on point, has been a goddamn blessing. I just want to keep this low bag family together, keep on grinding, keep on cashing, and supporting local strippers.
You know, 5 years ago when you came to SBR, I was like, what's this guy? A Canadian, Captain Football. Come on, man. What's he know? Go back to Canada, cap the CFL. You know, betting on the Falcons. Anyway, Jimmy, just wanted to say I love everything you've done. You know how I feel about you. I appreciate you brought a whole nation together, a whole family together. And we've been able to make money, and my capping is going up exponentially since listening to you. And you're just a visionary. I mean, what you brought to YouTube and to the sports betting industry with your shows, it just will never be topped.
Thank you so much for everything, man. Oh, Captain, my Captain. There's many of us who wouldn't be doing this, who wouldn't be in this game if it wasn't for you blazing the trail, showing us the way, giving us some opportunities. We love you, man. From the bottom of our hearts, you've created a family and a team that we couldn't live without these days. So you have no idea what this means to all of us. Good luck in year number 5. We know you're absolutely gonna smash it.
In this 5 years, I feel like you became part of our family. It seems like I've watched the kids grow up. You've seen Big Caden in the back there. He's almost as big as me now. And you got Skylar, you've watched her grow, and we've even got to see Bailey head off to college.
Just wanted to give you a thank you for all your hard work these last couple of years. I think it's almost been 5 years with the low bag community. I can't say thank you enough for bringing us all together. From all the hard work on the Daily Show, for a little fun getaway in Miami, to igniting a lot of cappers and friendships in between. You know, you've been nothing but a class act this whole time. And I know this job is a very, very stressful one. So from one low bagger to another, you are appreciated, my man. Much love, Joey Work.
But Jimmy, we want to say thanks for everything you've built for all of us, including my family and all the low baggers. Your work is relentless, and you cannot be thanked enough. Okay, we cannot wait for you to be able to travel and spend some time actually at the Nutflush Allen family household. All right, so we want to say thank you again, and big congratulations from all of us.
And Jimmy, you're the only man that my husband will let whisper sweet nothings in my ear. As long as they're bless my bets.
That's right. That's what we're talking about. Congrats, Jimmy.
Congrats. Congrats. Congrats.
Like I said, when Jimmy says drink the Kool-Aid, we drink the Kool-Aid. Except we call it leche. Here's to you, Jimmy the Bag.
Shout out to you. Shout out to the low bag family. 5 years. 5 years of being a low bagger. It's great. Thank you, Jimmy. Appreciate you. And as always, love and respect, my guy.
All love. You guys are my family. I'm rocking the shirt from 5 years ago. And cheers to 5 years more.
And do another 5 years, and I hope you're coming to Vegas soon. You move here. So, leche. Cheers, my friend.
We're eternally grateful for you and what you've built, man. Nothing but love.
And we appreciate you, man. You've done a great job. You're always entertaining, and we love you to death. Cheers, buddy.
A real one, to say the least. Salute, my friend.
Us against the bookies. You said it first, bro. Fuck them. So to you, to another fucking 5. Jimmy the fucking Bag. Salute. Cheers, mate.
Jimmy, we love you. Matter of fact, I know horse racing is your first love, so I'm standing right next to Secretariat with a Ronnie Turcotte autograph. From the greatest horse racer to the greatest sports handicapper on YouTube, you, Jimmy, we love you. Thanks for doing what you do, and I'll see you at the window, and guess what? I'll see you real soon, pal.
We love you, and we look forward to many more years of low baggery.
And I want to just say salute.
Let's get it. Let's keep it going. Blessings, gentlemen. Jimmy.
So, just wanted to say good luck. Thank you for everything, man. I love you. We love you. This is T signing off, man. Keep it going.
I look forward to the future, man. Big things, man. Big things. Love you, Jimmy, and see you here soon.
Hey, and never forget, man, it just ain't no low bag without Peter Loshak.
And yes, Pete, I know you'll see this video, and she took your advice. She said no to drugs. Okay? So without you, Pete, that would have been pretty scary.
Shout out to Peter Loshak as well, man. love that guy. He's taught me a lot of good betting tips and all that stuff, and some few moments of some good mental notes that I need to carry with me at all times. But he's a wonderful guy, man. My man Peter Loshak, a lot to learn from that guy. Great dude, love him 1,000%. Hey, 5 years strong, Low Bag Nation still going.
Jimmy the Bag taught me a lot about life. He sure did. Before I met Jimmy the Bag, I thought life was all about beating MLB markets, beating college basketball, beating college football, winning football handicapping contests, and beating MMA. That was all I thought about. That was my whole life. After I met Jimmy taught me you can beat NHL. Always keep that with me.
Okay, Jimmy, I got here some letters, some words from some of our friends who didn't have a chance to record something, but they wanted to be part of, and I'm so glad they took the time to write something in. This one's from our buddy Guillermo Zertucci. If there's one word I can describe Jimmy, the fucking bag, I think that word would be real. Jimmy's the same person on camera as he is over the phone or through the text messages. I've been following Jimmy for 4 years, but I feel like I've known him forever. The way he treats my son on and off camera says it all. Very grateful to have built a relationship with Jimmy, who I consider like family now. Never forget the Zertucci's. We'll always have your back, just like you had mine. Appreciate you, buddy. Next one is from old G Lowbagger, my New York buddy Mally Mal. Dear Jimmy, it's been a wild ride these last 4 to 5 years with you and the Lowbag family. I'm proud to be a Lowbagger, so this letter is of appreciation. I remember the first time I tuned into your show back in the SBR days. Might have been the first time I ever bet hockey and won following you and Totals Loshak. Hope you continue Captain Sports and lecheing these bookies. Much love to you and the family and all the low baggers. It's our boy Mally Mal. Next one is from Gamblestein, DX Filer. Thank you so much for all you have done for the sports betting community. You are always up front with us. You never tried to sell us anything and made everyone feel welcome. We have never met in real life, but I'm so proud to be part of the wonderful low bag community that you have fostered lovingly. Jimmy, thank you all for you've done, and the best is yet to come. Another one I got here, Jimmy, is from our boy Ralph Fort Wando. I've been watching our guy for over 5 years. Always gets solid betting advice. Love you, brother. Next one from CT Bays. Truly awesome to be part of the Low Bag family. It's an amazing group, and with people coming together from so many places, you bring everyone together. Congrats on the journey thus far, and many years to come. Leche. The next one is our boy Nate Dog 420. I'd like to congratulate Jimmy on 5 years. I remember the first show when Jimmy walked in on Peter Loshak during Pete's show at SBR. Loshak looked annoyed for being disturbed. Jimmy walked in and did "I'm here, bitches." Since then, the Low Bag family started and has been strong ever since. On a personal note, I want to thank Jimmy for who he is as a handicapper and a person. We met a couple times and continue to talk on the phone. You're a friend and a brother. I love you. Only wish you much success in life. Thank you for all you've done and being the man you are. Your brother for life, Nate Dog. P.S. Leche. The last one I got from you was from Dennis Garcia. Congratulations on chapter 1 of what I expect to be a long journey in the gaming industry. From daily discussions with Spidey in Costa Rica to nurturing pigeons in Parksdale, you have managed to entertain us all while growing in this game. Looking forward to watching you continue your journey and part of what's next. Leche. There is one more left that we have, and that is Birdie. Congrats on 5 years of the Betting the Bag podcast. There are so many things to say, so I will start with thank you. Thank you and Pete for conceptualizing the sports betting show with the idea was to get a collective group of people who have voices and willing to share ideas and work together to beat the books. I think we can confidently say you guys achieved that vision. On a personal level for me, it's not about the picks or the captain or even the sports betting. It's about the man and the man you are, sir, at the tops of human beings I've ever had the pleasure of running across in my entire life. you have created what every owner, GM, head coach, whether it be in sports or private sector business, want and achieve. You have created a positive, competitive, and inclusive environment where excellence is allowed to happen, and it does every single day, and it's done respectfully. I am in awe of that, and you did that. The last 7 months have been devastating for me and my family, and the only constant for many months was you and your show. I don't think I'll ever be able to repay you for that. Can you tell how you tell somebody you've never met personally that you love them? I think you can. So I love you, buddy. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for being you, and thank you for creating the best sports betting show there is anywhere. Birdie. Sure is, right, Jimmy? It's a big family affair. I hope everybody enjoyed this little tribute that we put for you. I know this wasn't an easy thing for you to sit back and watch people tell you how they feel about you. I know you'd rather be doing it the opposite way, telling you how you feel about us. But you do that every day, brother. And I'm not going to go on about how I feel about you. You know the bond we have, and all these guys pretty much said everything. And I appreciate everybody who came on and jumped into this little project so graciously. And you guys know I love you, and Jimmy, you know how I feel about you. Just a couple little quick stories about meeting you. I remember our first meeting was at the IFBC, and I came a day or two early, and you were there a day or two early, and you told me to meet you at Caesars at the sports book. I remember walking in and walking up to you, and we immediately, I knew who you were by the camera, but you seemed to just know who I was right away, and we just immediately had a bond. We were laughing, and a quick story about that day was Flipper 13 and his wife came to meet us, and this beautiful lady dressed up to the nines came walking over to us, and she said, "Hi, Jimmy. I'm Flipper 13," and we were both looked at each other in amazement, and I was like already starting to apologize to her for breaking chops on the chat and saying stuff to her and stuff, and all of a sudden then Flipper came behind her and the real Flipper 13. So that was a great night. And then like Flipper and his wife, they became friends of ours, like Big Ragu and his wife, like DJ and his wife, everybody, we've been out to dinner. We've been on many trips since then. The Miami trip was legendary. I got off the plane at 11:30 p.m. and you, Seth, Comic Ricky were there waiting for me. I get in the truck and he's hand me all sorts of goodies and different things to smoke just before I even got to the hotel, and that's something I'll never forget. So just a couple quick little stories, there'd be many more. That night on the beach when we left, I was getting all choked up. It was 2 a.m. We were all pretty much wasted, and I just didn't want to leave. I wanted that night to go on forever. So anyhow, guys, I just wanted to thank everybody for doing this. Jimmy, I hope you enjoyed this. Love you guys, and hope we all see each other very, very soon. Leche, Alice Bookmakers. There you go, Jim. We love you.
Thank you, guys.
I feel the same way, brother. I feel the same way. It was hard for me to even get those words out, But like I said, I wish everybody could have joined us today. This could have went on for hours and hours. And but one little problem we had a little problem with Ron Crawford's video. He did send one in, but we had a problem with it. But what we're going to do is, Jimmy, we're going to send you, and a couple of the letters we had to cut down a little bit, time. But Jose is going to put all the complete, from start to finish videos together for you. I got all the letters put together for you so you can have them. I'm going to save them also for us, but that way you have everything, Jim. So that's it, buddy. We love you. This is the start of a big, big year for us. Big year.
Agreed.
Thank you.